And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas and an upcoming Happy New Year. But we got quite a bit to get through. Calendargate. You might not know what this is. It's a Twitter thing. I'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, California has fired all of their Pizza Hut delivery drivers. All of them. You're talking about 1,200 fewer jobs at Pizza Hut. We'll talk about why a little bit more a little bit later. Also, a Texas woman had to delete a home invader who was trying to break into the home that she shares with her 4 children. And now she faces eviction as a result of her action. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Apple Watches. You want the new Apple Watch Ultra. You might not be able to get it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got to talk about a lot more things that are not right here on the actual list. I got quite a few videos. We're talking about Taraji P Henson saying that she gets paid next to no money, but yet she's still a multi-millionaire. We're going to talk about the ongoing border issues, the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of New York. We're talking about a whole lot of things that I have not put on the actual channel yet, and it's going to be a good one. So y'all get ready, and we'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Hopefully the video is good. You might be new, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. We got a whole lot to get into. We're going to get into everything that's going on. We're going to really rock and roll. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. If you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Somebody asked me a question that says, when was pizza considered fast food? Well, in the California law, they consider it fast food because they're going to raise the wages. Remember, I covered the story where they said that they're going to raise the wages of fast food workers specifically. I guess that's considered fast food because you can order it and get it brought to you. I'm not really sure because in reality, it's like a restaurant, right? There's no necessarily, well, there could be a drive-through pizza spot. Where I live, there's a drive-through pizza spot. There was one not too far from where I live where you could drive up to the actual window. Like you could order it online and then drive up to the window and get it from the window without getting out your vehicle. You know, you didn't have to get it delivered if you didn't want it or go inside. You could just get it straight from the actual window while still being in your vehicle. And as a matter of fact, you could order it from your car at the window, pull to the side and wait, and then they would bring it out to your car. So, yeah, under California law, it is considered fast food. We're going to get to that in just a minute because the minimum wage thing is really something that all of us, you guys who watch me, you guys are really smart. You have a very high IQ. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to you guys. You guys are brilliant. You called it. I called it. We knew it was coming, but the normies did not really understand that it was coming. They didn't get it. And I'm going to get to that in just a little while. But first things first, let me see. Hold on. Oh, I'm good. I'm reading the chat. I'm getting distracted. But first things first, shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to my website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. Again, ablmerch.com. Also, go to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the description, or just go to the website through the browser, type in patriotpost.us, tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each video that I produce. And in the articles, you'll be able to find sources, links from left, right, politically agnostic, local, national, whatever you want. I got it. Full-length videos, uncut, uncensored. As long as it's legal, it's going to be on the website. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, not going to call it X, Instagram, all that good stuff is right there on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And as I always say, please be aware of the scammers. Y'all know how it goes. I say this every single time when I do a live stream, but I still get emails. Hey, ABL, I sent you 10 Bitcoin and I didn't get any money back. I thought I could trust you. I love your videos. Look, you didn't send me 10 Bitcoin. You may have sent some guy who stole my picture and had a name that looked like my name, who was really living in Lagos, Nigeria. You may have given him 10 Bitcoin. You may have given some guy that is in a room that's 175 square feet with 10 other adult males. Okay, everybody's bald head at age 25. You sent that guy 10 Bitcoin, but not me. So here's how the scam goes. And not just on my channel, but a lot of other channels all over YouTube, all over the internet, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Here's how it goes. I post a video, you comment. Someone replies to your comment. That's how they get you. They reply to your comment. So you think that it's, they want to talk to you specifically. They will steal my picture and they'll have a name that looks like my name, although it's not my name. And then they'll say, hey, contact me at this email address right here today. I'll give you some money. Send me 10 Bitcoin to save my brother. And I'm going to give you $5 back for every Bitcoin you give. You're going to respond to that guy thinking that it's me, when in reality it's not. You get caught up, you send them money, you get scammed. Okay? So please don't do that. Christmas, hopefully Christmas as well. Hopefully you had a good Christmas. You got your kids and your grandkids and your significant other or whoever yourself. You got yourself something nice, your kids something nice, your kids, your mama, your pawpaw. Hopefully you're able to spend your hard-earned cash on them and not by getting scammed by somebody who says they're ABL. All right. So that's how it goes. Do not feed the trolls. Do not send money on the internet to random people, not even me. If you want to contribute to me, you could do it through Super Chat right here on this video as I'm going live. If you're on the restream, you can go to my website. Everything's right there on the website. Just use that as your guide. Use that as your guide. Do not reply to comments and send them money at some random sketchy email. I'm a Nigerian scammer, 007@hotmail.com. I'm a Lithuania. I weigh 9,800 pounds at gmail.com. That ain't the wave. Don't nobody got no time for that in 2023 going into 2024. All righty. So we have a whole lot. And thank you for your comment, Born Again Birian. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, but thank you for your comment. I really appreciate you. It means a lot to me. All right. So we have a lot going on here. There's a lot to get into. I'm going to ask a question just to kind of gauge the audience and see what you guys, because one thing about some of these issues that happen on social media, sometimes they stay within like a walled garden. Sometimes things that happen and it becomes popular on Facebook, nobody knows about it. TikTok, same thing. I get told about things happening on TikTok. And by the way, I think TikTok is a virus. And you know what? Hold on. I have an example of why I say that TikTok is a virus. Y'all give me a second, please, because I really kind of got to get into it. It's all kind of stuff that happens over there and kind of goes viral. And I'm just like, what? What in the world? Like, this makes no sense. And when people tell me about it, I'm like, what's going on? And shout out to you guys on Facebook. Shout out to Christine, Kevin, Joseph. Shout out to you guys over there. I appreciate y'all. And if you like me over there, give me a thumbs up on the Facebooks. But here's an example of what happens on TikTok. And then I'm going to get to my question I had. I didn't forget about my question. Okay, so let me just throw it up right here. All right, y'all give me a second, and here we go. And RIP headphone users in advance. Y'all know how it goes.
The saying, you can't have cake and eat it too. Because before, I used to be...
My brothers and sisters, I'm here today to tell you, as Black people do, we took something and ran with it. The saying is not, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. It's, you cannot have cake and eateth too.
See, did you hear that? This person probably went viral on TikTok saying that the phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it too, is incorrect. Let me just rewind that so you can hear what she said. And I'm sure there's a bunch of youngins, kids out here who think that this is right when it's 100% wrong, like totally wrong. So I understand at a certain point having fact checkers. The problem is that fact checkers are politically motivated and they don't really help the conversation go forward. Let's roll this back just for a moment.
The saying, you can't have cake and eat it too. Because before, I used to be...
My brothers and sisters, I'm here today to tell you, as Black people do, we took something and ran with it. The saying is not, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. It's, you cannot have cake and eateth too.
No, it's not. No, it is not. The phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it too, refers to possessing a thing while also consuming it. You can't maintain possession of a thing that you consume. Okay? If you want to have, hold, possess, keep the cake, you can't eat it. Okay? You can't have money and spend it. That's where the phrase comes from. This is totally wrong. This is a prime example of what TikTok puts out. That's 1,000% wrong. It'll go viral. And then your kids and some of you guys, not you guys in the chat, you guys are brilliant, but some of your kids and your friends and your family members will think that this is real. So then they come to you. Then they come to you on Christmas break and they hit you with this nonsense. And it's like, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. It's incorrect. But again, these are the things that happen on TikTok. Now back to my question. How many of you guys have heard about Calendargate? I won't do a poll. I'm just asking the question. Calendargate. There's a thing happening on Twitter for the past few days about a calendar that got put out by a group called Conservative Dads. And it features conservative women in the calendar. Some have on bikinis, some have on like business casual type attire, things of this nature. And some people, I'll get to that later in the show, some say that this is demonic. This is just abhorrent. How many of you guys have heard about this whole kerfuffle? Just asking the question, no need for a poll. But if you've not heard about it, or if you have heard about it, I'll get to it a little bit later. See, nope. A lot of you guys saying nope, because that's the way things are on social media. A lot of times things that happen on social media stay in the app that it happens. That whole cake and Edith too is probably viral on TikTok, but you've never seen it before. You see how that goes? So some of you guys know about it. Bryson, yeah, shout out to Bryson. I don't want to attack Bryson. I like Bryson. I like Shekinah, his wife. Shout out to them. But we're going to get to it a little bit later because there's a whole thing. You heard me on Twitter Spaces. Shout out to you, Robbie Mill. We're going to get to that later. So y'all hang tight. All right. We're going to get to it. If you guys are not familiar, I will explain everything later in the show. All right. But first things first, let's talk about some pay disparities in Hollywood. Okay. Some of you guys have heard about this movie that came out recently, The Color Purple. Now, The Color Purple is a movie that had, I'm put it to you this way. The first version of the movie came out in the 80s with Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg. Now, they released a new version of it, but it's not a remake of the old one. You see, The Color Purple was on Broadway. The new one is like a musical. Based on the Broadway version of The Color Purple, it's not necessarily the 1980s movie remake. Anyway, Taraji P. Henson is in the movie, and she's been doing interviews to promote it. And in some of the interviews, she's talking about the pay disparity, how she doesn't really get paid anything. Her pay is like a fraction of her white co-stars or whatever. And she's saying, well, I need to get paid what I'm worth. I don't really make anything in Hollywood, all this, that, and the third. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what she made for Benjamin Button. And then we're going to get to, a little bit of pocket watching, the pocket watching with JT. We're going to get into a tad bit of pocket watching to kind of expose how this is kind of a BS argument that she's making. Okay. Like when I show you what she has financially, you're going to be like, really, Taraji, you're crying about not making no money in Hollywood. Now check it out. Let's read this. Then we're going to get into it. Who's this woman exactly? Taraji P. Henson. You may have heard about the show called Empire. She played Cookie. Also, she was in Benjamin Button as the mom. She was in Baby Boy, Yvette. She was in quite a few movies, but not really an A-list celebrity. She's not on a level of Brad Pitt, obviously, right? But check it out. So Taraji P. Henson, in her 2016 book, her memoir, she claimed she was paid less than 2% of what actor Brad Pitt was paid for Benjamin Button, okay? Henson later confirmed that she asked for $500,000. They offered her $100,000, but later agreed on $150,000. The budget for the film was $150 million. Now, they're saying Brad Pitt got paid $10 million. For according to this graphic, Brad Pitt got paid $10 million. She got paid $100,000, $150,000. Now, some may say this is evidence of racism and all these different things, but check it out. Maybe Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. Okay, if you're going to go into a movie with him as the draw, how do you expect to get anywhere near what he makes? How do you really expect that? Okay, Taraji, she's more known in the black community for doing Baby Boy, these movies that are classics in the community, but are not blockbusters. A lot of guys that I know were bootlegging Baby Boy. This was not a big money maker. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me just go check out what they made at the box office. Okay. I'm going to compare Baby Boy, one of her most well-known, I guess you would say, quote unquote, black movies, to what Benjamin Button made. Okay, look, Baby Boy had a budget of $16 million. So already you're way below the budget of Benjamin Button, $150 million. And by the way, the same guy who wrote Forrest Gump wrote Benjamin Button. And really, it's the same movie. It's the same exact movie, just in reverse. You think about it. Okay, Forrest Gump. Well, okay, let's talk about, I'm getting distracted. Let's stay on task. Baby Boy, one of her most well-known movies, had a overall budget of $16 million. They made 29.3 at the box office, okay, for Baby Boy. Now, Benjamin Button, let's check this out and see how much they made, how much they actually. So the budget was $150. They made $335 million. So her most well-known movie doesn't come anywhere close to the success that she was able to generate, the attention from Benjamin Button. So it's not even in the same ballpark. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, so, and before I move on about Taraji, because she's talking about not getting paid as much as Brad Pitt, saying there's a pay disparity. Before I continue about her, Benjamin Button and Forrest Gump were pretty much the same movie. Okay, just told in reverse. And Benjamin Button, he was born old and then became young. But it was always the same thing. Okay, Southern mom struggling to make it. The boy had problems, had to figure it out. And then he traveled the world, became rich, and all kind of, lived 1,000 lives. It was the same movie. Mom in the South, struggling, raising the same situation. Troubled child. Forrest Gump had the leg braces, lifelong love interest. It's the same movie. But anyway, let's move on. So here is Miss Henson's multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. Again, remember, she's talking and she's going on interviews crying about not making the money that she should make. Meanwhile, here is her real estate portfolio. Check it out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, so let's take a little look at Miss Taraji P. Henson's real estate portfolio. Here's her former Hollywood Hills mansion she sold in 2018 for $2.4 million. It was over 4,000 square feet. Here's her Chicago condo that she paid $1.9 million for in 2015, 16, something like that. 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, amazing views.
Oh.
And here's her main residence, which sits high above Los Angeles. She dropped $6.4 million for this Hollywood Hills mansion in 2016. It's over 4,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and some sick-ass views.
So, I mean, if this is what struggling and pay inequality looks like, houses in the hills, real estate portfolio, millions of dollars, if that's what inequality looks like, can I get some of that inequality? Like, what's really going on? So sometimes when you see somebody crying on TV about not getting paid enough and inequality, all this, that, and the third, I mean, is it really that way? Is that what's really going on? Or, I mean, look, if I got 3 houses, California, LA, Chicago, Hollywood Hills, millions of dollars. I mean, come on. Anybody trying to hear that. But anyway, that's her real estate portfolio. So when you see some of these posts, you see some people crying about money, don't always believe it. Exactly. Sign me up. Count me in. Count me in. I mean, such a rough life. I mean, good grief. Let's keep on going here. All right. Now, shout out to your governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. Shout out to my man. You know, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, all that good stuff.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad.
So there you go. Your governor of Colorado. Yeah, that's your man right there. So shout out to him. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas from Mr. Jared Polis, the governor of Colorado. All right, let's keep on going. Let's go to Canada. They're talking about UBI. Let's read the caption. It says, Universal Basic Income is now coming to Canada. The Liberals believe that there will be a positive consequence of offering universal basic income. More government dependency by Justin Trudeau as he leads Canada toward communism. Let's check it out. And again, RRP headphone users in advance.
Introduce a framework to develop a guaranteed livable basic income. We are struggling throughout this country with homelessness, food insecurity, poverty, health, mental health issues, and this is one way that we could start to look at these issues. It's not the only way, but it's certainly a key way.
And I think we've gathered a great deal of data to show the positive consequences of offering people the opportunity.
Half of Canadians are pessimistic about their...
Okay, I got a question. Just my hand's raised. I got a question. Male, female, other. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Male, female, other. I'm hearing one voice. I'm hearing a voice that tells me one thing, but I'm seeing a face that looks a little bit different. So y'all let me know what's going on. I'm a tad bit confused here. Y'all give me the 411, please.
Their personal finances. A quarter of low-income families cannot pay for monthly expenses.
Introduce a framework.
Now, aside from the confusion about the gender going on, and we got something to talk about that a little bit later, but what do you guys think? Is UBI a good idea for Canada, for the U.S., for anywhere in the world? A lot of you guys are saying female. I believe it's a female, okay? Looking like Jackie Chan in the face, kind of real, straight Lego head type situation going on. A lot of confusion, but do you think that this is going to work? Does it make sense to provide UBI? And if you guys don't know, you guys know, but UBI, Universal Basic Income, basically this is the principle of giving, I guess, everyone or certain people, straight cash every month to do with whatever. There's no strings attached. With welfare, there's typically strings attached. Food stamps, you got to buy food, or you're supposed to buy food. You're not supposed to sell your stamps for money, but different story. There's no strings attached, so there's no need to go try to sell your food stamps. There's no need to try to do any kind of scamming. It just give you cash. Will this help people, or will it not help people? I think it'd be a similar thing to trying to raise minimum wage. All you're going to do is you're going to shift problems from one place to another. You're not going to solve anything. You're just going to create more problems. You're going to create different problems. You know, people think, okay, if we just raise minimum wage, everybody gets paid more, so the bills that they have will now be easier to pay. Well, they didn't say that by raising the wage, in order to pay the wage, the price of goods, services, etc., are going to increase, and there's going to be job loss. We'll get to that in a minute. But after all the adjustments are made to be able to pay the wage, you're in a worse situation often. At best, you're going to be in the exact same situation. So there was no point in even doing it. The people who suffer the most when you have UBI, higher minimum wage, are going to be those on the lower part of society because they don't have any kind of income at all. They don't have anything. Somebody outside smoking crack for a living is going to be worse. But hey, that's what's happening. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this one really hit close to home. I made a post about this, and it kind of did pretty well over on Twitter. And I got to show you guys this, and then I'm going to give my commentary. Let me put it on the screen right quick, and let's let it rock.
Well, you see, when they stole the coal jobs from us, we just kind of got left behind. We got no value anymore. They give us food stamps and disability. But besides that, we just have no purpose. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say 85 to 90% of people in this here county use pills. They are on pills. There's a girl here down the road, lost all 3 of her babies to drugs, and not one of them made it to 25. It ain't no jobs. People just become stuck here. They don't have the transportation to even get to a job. And now, when I was a kid, all the men worked in the mines, and everybody was doing okay for themselves. The closest Walmart 40, 50 miles from here, there ain't nowhere for no one to work. There ain't nothing to wake up to. There's nothing for these kids to do. And the only ones making money is the ones who sell pills. There's just so much that we wish was available to us. We want to be better. We want to do better. But unfortunately, everything it takes to become better costs money that we just ain't got.
Now, let me just go back to the beginning. You see what it says right here on the screen? It says Coal Country, West Virginia. Now, what the man was saying is what happened to West Virginia over a period of years that has it where it is right now. Okay, it was, in my opinion, it was done on purpose. What happened was, West Virginia was never some type of booming economy, but it wasn't just dirt poor the way it is right now. West Virginia was a mining place. They mined salt, they mined coal, and then that's what it was. It's a mountainous place. It was always like not very highly populated. Right now, it's about, in the entire state, 2 million people. Charleston is the biggest city. That's where I was born. You got about 45,000 people in the city. For the biggest city, the capital city, 45,000 people. There's some neighborhoods in big cities that have that kind of people. That amount of people. 45,000 in the entire city. Now, in the metro area, about 300,000. And the metro is really big. You're talking about all the way down the river. Like, it's a really big metro area. You might even put Huntington in the Charleston metro area, which is kind of far away. But anyway, what happened, to make it kind of short, was a 2-part thing. The EPA, especially under Obama, they came in and closed all the coal mines. Remember, Hillary Clinton, she said the worst thing ever, not only for West Virginia, but Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, when she said we're going to close the coal mines down. Why would you do that? These people need the coal mines because what other industry is there? What other industry is there? The whole place is built on coal mining. My great-grandfather worked in the coal mine 20 years, built 2 houses that still stand to this day. My great-grandfather worked in the coal mine, built 2 houses in West Virginia that still stand right now to this day. And he built them in the 60s. Oh, it was so racist, ABL. It was so racist, and it was West Virginia and the Klan. Man, please, look. My great-grandfather, he's black, okay, and built 2 houses that still stand right now to this day off a coal miner salary, okay? So that's what it was. They shut the mines down because they want to promote this green energy. And, you know, the funny part is that a lot of the mines are starting to open back up. There's more demand because when you have all these electric vehicles, that's going to create a stronger demand for electricity because of the strain on the grid. And the way to power the grid ultimately will be from coal. Anyway, they shut the coal mines down, and then they literally purposely dumped pills in this region of the country on purpose. There's lawsuits and everything. You know, I put it on Twitter and I said that. Somebody said, oh, that's like the argument about, you know, some guy in the van going to Indiana, buying guns, and then just dropping them in Chicago. No. This was a corporate thing. This is not some random person, some random criminal with a white van putting guns in the black community. No. We're talking about a corporate strategy. Like, this is a thing that has been proven in court. There's been settlements about this. They put the pills right there as a testing ground. All these opiates, this is why Appalachia is ground zero for opiates, because that's where they brought them first to test it. And this is why you got hillbilly heroin, all the pills. So you heard the man talking, if you don't sell pills and you live here, you make no money. That's where they brought it. Ohio, Southern Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, that particular part of the country. Like you could like draw a circle. You could go Southern Ohio, Southern West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky. They put them right there. Done on purpose. 100%. And you wondering why it's like the way it is. That's why. I saw it firsthand. This is my birthplace. I got family there right now, and they tell me what's going on. It's crazy. So when people talk about legalizing drugs, I'm like, really? So you want to have this happen all over again? And it's happening again because, I mean, now it's being done in the open because you have movements to decriminalize drugs. All that's going to happen is they're going to flood these places with drugs. They got dispensaries with weed. The next thing is going to be dispensaries for crack, meth, heroin, whatever you want. And you're going to have entire areas of the country that are totally destroyed by these drugs. And it's going to be all for corporate profit. All for corporate profit. Now, I'm a capitalist 100%, but at the same time, we got to protect our citizens. We can't just allow our country to be destroyed by these substances, which will happen if we allow it to happen. It happened in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio. It can happen to you as well in your big city. You got your shiny Tesla and whatnot. You go right through a patch of fentanyl smokers. It's happening. Left coast is already happening. It'll come to your town, to your city next. If it's not already there, it'll be there. Canada, exactly. Shout out to AB. Yep, happening in Canada, happening in Appalachia, left coast, New York, Baltimore, Philly is here. So, hey. And the new weed, you're right about that. And new weed is crazy. Who said that? Rebel. The new weed ain't your pawpaw's weed. Your pawpaw's weed, your regular weed. This ain't that. This ain't that. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys something right quick. And you're gonna see what I'm talking about. This is why against what's going on. Hold on. Give me a second. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, now here's a video somebody posted of them showing off some brand new kind of weed. Okay, look at this. Now, watch the video. Okay, no sound. But he's showing the weed off. Now, do you see what I see? He's literally shaking. It's like, sir, what is going on here? And why is it white like that? What's the substance on it? You see what I'm saying? This ain't your pawpaw's weed. Your pawpaw had weed that was just like a flower. The weed your pawpaw had was the equivalent of a dandelion, a sunflower, a rose petal compared to this. This man is shaking like he had the biggest hangover ever, like he's on crack, heroin from weed. This is weed he has in his hand. Like, whatever that is, I don't want it. Okay, y'all got it. Y'all going to the dispensary. That's crackhead behavior. That's crackhead behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, and the way that the corporate interest will get you is saying, oh, it's just weed, it's harmless. It's marketing. They get you on this new weed. Now you hooked. They got you. They got a new customer. They don't really care. They'll tell you whatever they want to tell you to get you hooked on it. The same way that if you were to legalize fentanyl, all that kind of stuff, they do it. This is why vaping became so popular, because they had young people market it and do all kind of crazy tricks with it. And now you have kids, 11 years old, 12 years old, hooked on nicotine, hooked on vaping because it was marketed to them through a back door. These corporate interests, I'm telling you, look, people talking about guys on the streets, you know, the game bangers and the criminals and whatnot. These guys are bad. Don't get it twisted. But the worst kind of people can be, not always, obviously. There's a lot of good corporate people who do right by people, but there's a lot of bad people out there as well, especially overseas. China, the things they sell us, man, please. Remember the whole Chinese drop walker fofo? Oh my goodness. People were poisoned in their homes. Don't get it confused. You can buy some things that will literally have you deleted in a little bit of time, hooked on it, because if you're hooked, if you're an addict, they got a repeat customer. That's the whole thing. But I digress. Let's keep on going here. Now, shout out to all the Biden supporters out there. I'm not really sure how many of you exist, but there's one guy right here that did an interview on the street, and let's see what he has to say. All right, let's check it out. RIP headphone users.
What would you say to the Biden hater?
The only other person you got is Trump, so we don't need another 4 years of Donald Trump.
Why not?
He's going to screw with our Constitution. Get rid of people, getting rid of our freedoms, women's choices, probably gay rights, and I'm not down for that.
What would you say to...
All right, so let's hear him one more time. Let's hear the question.
What would you say to the Biden hater?
So what would you say to the Biden hater? My man, what is your message to the Biden hater? Let's hear it.
The only other person you got is Trump, so we don't need another 4 years of Donald Trump.
So basically, look, if you hate Biden, the only other person would be Trump, and we don't want him anymore. That's not to say that Biden's done anything that's good. There's no actual accolades, but I hate Trump, so there. And let's keep on going.
Why not?
He's going to screw with our Constitution. Get rid of people, getting rid of our freedoms, women's choices, probably gay rights, and I'm not down for that.
Just making up random stuff. Making up random stuff. And you know, that is the kind of rhetoric that you may hear at your Thanksgiving table with your family and things of this nature. I have a rule. I adopted a rule that I do not discuss politics with family at all. I don't do it. I'm good money. I don't do anything like that. You want to talk politics, cousin Jimmy? I think not. I'm going to tell auntie if you keep bothering me, okay? I'm going to tell, so don't do it. All right, now let's keep on rocking here. Now, here's an interesting video. I'm going to show some of it, but this is kind of a what would you do? I'm not quite sure when this video was released, when this interview was done, and I've read up on it. The guy in question is out now, but what do you do if... Matter of fact, before I explain it, I'm going to play it, then I'm going to ask the question. All right? Shout out to you, pretty lady. My family is not really conservative. They just kind of like regular people. My family, love my family. They're like normies. They're not really like me. Okay? When we're talking about, they don't talk about politics too much. Now, I have some family members that want to talk about politics. I won't name their names so they know who they are. And I refuse to engage. Okay? And they are not conservative. They are very liberal. But most of my family, I say 95%, they're just normies. They don't really know too much about politics at all. And I think that's going to be your average person just walking around. They don't really understand politics at all. So, yeah, I choose not to even bring up any kind of thing that might be a little controversial because they're not gonna really be knowledgeable about it. I'm not trying to say that I'm some type of brilliant genius or whatever. I'm just saying it's not a thing that I don't want to discuss that with them because they're not really going to be up on it. It's like me talking to Swiftie about Taylor Swift's music. I have no idea about that subject at all. So why would I engage in that conversation? You see what I'm saying? But let's watch some of this, and then I'm going to ask the question that I want to ask. Let's check it out.
We met prisoner 103-9699 at the Southeast Correctional Center in Charleston, Missouri yesterday afternoon.
I'm Dean. Mike Anderson. Nice to meet you.
Mike Anderson is 9 months into a 13-year sentence for an armed robbery that took place in 1999. He should have gone to prison in 2002 after his conviction and unsuccessful appeals. But Missouri made a mistake. It forgot about him.
They said it was a clerical error.
Clerical error?
Yes.
That's the whole thing, is a clerical error?
That's what they say.
Instead of ordering Anderson to prison, the state mistakenly thought he was already there. Anderson said he waited and waited.
Well, what did you think would happen as the days and weeks and months and years went by?
I had this sense in me that everything was okay. No matter what was going to happen, that everything was going to be okay. And to this day, I still have that.
If Anderson had gone to prison on schedule in 2002, he would have been released last summer. Instead, that's when the state realized it was attempting to discharge someone who'd never served his sentence. Law enforcement didn't have to look very hard to find him, though. During the last decade, Anderson lived life by the book. He built a home, started a business, coached football, married LaQuana, and started a family.
Do you wonder how this could possibly have happened?
I think about that all the time, every day.
Anderson was rearrested last July at his home, which now he might not visit again until 2026.
Now, again, I don't know when this was recorded, when the interview was recorded, but I read up on it. I think he's out now. So to recap, he was convicted of a crime. I think it was armed robbery back in 2002. And they never sent him to prison. They just kind of let him stay out. He didn't go on the run. He was not very far away. They just forgot to actually incarcerate him. So then when they were trying to release him, because the whole time they thought he was in prison, which he was not in prison, when they tried to release him, they realized he was never actually incarcerated. So then what they did was after 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, they re-arrested him and brought him to prison. But ever since this, they let him out because the judge was like, well, hey, he's been out for 15, 20 years and didn't get in any more trouble. And really, it's our mistake for not locking him up because it's not his fault. He wasn't on the run. He didn't evade justice. See, it's one thing if they went to go arrest him and he was on the run. That's not what happened. They just made a mistake. So really, that's on them. That's on them. So they let him out. They let him out. But what do you guys think? If a person is convicted of a crime and the state forgets to lock them up, and then 20 years go by, should they be able to go get him and then send him to prison? Again, he wasn't on the run. He didn't escape. He didn't leave or go to Mexico. He was right there where he was living. They just never got him. So what should happen in that situation? And again, he didn't get in any more trouble, kept his nose clean, and he was straight. What should be the result of that? That's kind of a tough one because he got convicted. He did the crime, but the state made a mistake and didn't lock him up until 20 years later. What do you do? That's on the state. I agree. That's on the state. It was armed robbery. That's what it was. That was a crime, armed robbery. He rehabbed himself. Good. Do his time as anybody, but it wouldn't be the same as anybody, Robert, because if it was anybody else, they would have already been in prison and released by now. You see what I'm saying? Anybody else would have just been convicted and sent to prison, served their time, and then come out. The state made a mistake and did not lock him up. So what do? Let him off, keep forgetting about it? Exactly. Yep, case by case basis. And again, the judge let him out recently. The judge said since he's not been in any new trouble, the state made a mistake. Let's let him out. I'm not quite sure how long he was in prison before they let him out, but he did get out. All right. It might have been a year. I'm not really sure how long he was in prison after they forgot for 20 years to lock him up. But yeah, that's what's going on. So shout out to him and shout out to the state for making the mistake. A clerical error. Imagine that. You got convicted and you just waiting to get locked up and it never happens. And then 20 years later, oh, man, we forgot about you, man. Come on to prison, man. Come on. Like, that's crazy. That's totally crazy. You said let him stay out? Some volunteering? Yeah. Now, if he was out there getting in new trouble, he would have already been back in prison, and then they would have realized that he had a conviction that he wasn't serving. You see what I'm saying? So he would have already, if he got in more trouble, he would have already been back and stayed for a long time. He would have gone back and served the original sentence plus whatever the new one was, rather consecutive or concurrent. All right. So that's what's happening. Let's keep on going here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this video caught my eye, but I didn't watch it yet. I'm going to see it live with you guys. And we're going to get to the Calendargate in a minute if you guys have come here for that. Shout out to you guys. If you're coming in to the channel right now, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. That means for you guys on YouTube and Facebook. And this is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available audio only on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify. Link for that will be in the description, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right. Let's check it out.
Well, mine's a little dark. I just feel a lot of concern that 2024 may be the year of a black swan event. This is a national security event with high impact that's very hard to predict. There are a number of concerns that I have that factor into that. Not only this sort of enduring heightened threat level that we're facing, the wars in Israel, also Ukraine. And we're so divided in this country in ways that we haven't seen before. And I think that just creates fertile ground for our adversaries like North Korea, China, and Iran. And that's what concerns me most. Well, mine's a little...
So what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be a black swan event in 2024? A terror attack, something crazy like that? What do you guys think? Now, the context of that video, I'm not really sure. That was on CBS, Face the Nation. And I guess they were asking what they thought about next year, what could happen, any kind of 2024 predictions. And she's saying there could be a black swan event. What do you guys think? Now, what I heard was false flag. That's what I heard. That's not what she said, but that's what I heard. False flag. There's a whole lot of those going on, allegedly. You know, it could be a false flag event to usher in something else. Who knows? You know, I hope there isn't a thing like that. But if anything were to happen, I think it'd be fake. If I see a really big, crazy event happening, I'm going to assume that it's fake. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Cybersecurity event, that could be something bad. Propaganda, scare tactics. Yeah, scare tactics. Alien invasion. They're being open about the alien encounters. They're being very open about that. So I think that could be imminent, where they show themselves and say, hey, we're here. And the aliens might not be who you think. It might not be the little gray guys. It could be something else. They could look like us from a different planet. It could be it's kind of hard to fathom a thing that we have not seen before. You understand? Like, you are able to kind of understand what an organism looks like when it has a head, shoulders, fingers, toes, all of this and that. If it looks like an animal or a humanoid, it kind of makes sense to you. But if it's not quite that, you're not really going to be able to grasp it. It'd be like a caveman inside of a space shuttle. It's like, where am I at right now? Now, let's go to the border. The border is still wide open. That's something that could be happening. You know, the border's fully, completely open. Shout out to Anthony Aguero out there in Texas doing the Lord's work, doing a lot of these interviews right there at the border. These guys are from Syria. These guys are Syrian. Now, remember your main man, who was that, talking about Mexicans and saying it was just them? Oh, Stephen A. Smith. Remember that video I did? Maybe you guys don't. But Stephen A. Smith was talking about, oh, it's racist for Texas to have a law that says if you're in the state illegally, like if you're an illegal alien in the state, it's going to be a state law because, you know, immigration, the border, these are federal issues. So if someone's in the country illegally, it's a federal issue, not a state issue. The state does not have any kind of control over that. But since they passed a law in Texas that says it's illegal for you to be in the state as an illegal alien, now the police have a little bit more power to arrest these guys, get them out the country or whatever. Now, Stephen A. Smith said that such a law is racist against Mexicans. I said, and you guys said, that it's not just Mexicanos coming in, it's the entire world. And in reality, it's not really Mexicans coming in. They're already here. Mexico is here already. We're talking about the whole world, Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, the entire planet. Space aliens could be coming in illegally through the southern border. It's not really Mexicanos. So let's see this interview right here from these Syrian guys. Check it out.
From Syria.
From Syria? You're from Syria too?
Yeah. All over.
Okay, okay. Where you going? Arkansas. You? Chicago. Columbus. Texas. New Jersey. New York. Texas. New York. California. Chicago. You? Michigan. You? New York. You? New York. You? Indianapolis. You? New York. Thank you. Where you?
All Syrians. And then that was just one group of Syrians. And then the other guys, I think these guys were from Africa. 70%, by the way, 70% of the migrants who have come to New York City in the past year and a half are African. 70%. Okay, so let's get a little bit of context. A lot of Senegalese, a lot of just West Africans in general, they're coming to the country illegally through the southern border as so-called asylum seekers. All right. All men, by the way, no women, no children, all men. Right around my age or a little bit younger. Yeah. All men. Okay. Columbus, Indianapolis, New York, Arkansas. Arkansas, that's pretty random. Why would you be going to Arkansas? That seems pretty specific, like you were given the order. Hey, Ahmed, go to Arkansas. Sorry if that was racist, but whatever. Shout out to the Syrians. Allah Akbar, all that good stuff. Now check it out. Here is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here's her take on the border. Now, I've seen a small bit of this, but I've not seen the entire thing. We're going to watch it together. So, cringe alert, headphone alert. Let's check it out.
So often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like.
Oh, sorry. You guys couldn't see it. Let me just start from the top.
So often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like how we're talking about it because it's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis. This is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy. So often people want to say
children. I saw a bunch of men in their 30s right there, maybe 20s at best. I didn't see any children. Like, what are you talking about, AOC? I saw a bunch of fully grown adult men. Some of those guys probably got grandkids. What are you talking about, children? Ain't no kids. I mean, there could be some kids, but that's not really who's coming across. Okay, you got full grown adult males coming across. All right. So what are we really saying? It's weird. Now, Eric Adams and Brandon Johnson are speaking out against what's happening. They've been speaking out a lot about this. But if you ask me, I think there was some kind of communication. I think these guys are talking to each other and they're trying to figure out a way to fight against the invasion. Now, if you ask me, for my take on it, I say, a great way to fight against the invasion would be to no longer to no longer identify as a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state. That might be the first arrow in your quiver. That might be the first arrow in the quiver, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
We're seeing the erosion of the quality of life that we've improved on in such a short period of time of this administration. And we have been impacted. For many months, we were able to keep the visualization of this crisis from hitting our streets, but we have reached a breaking point. We're no longer able to do that because of the volume in numbers. Just last week, we had 3,900 people that arrived here. We are averaging anywhere from 2,500 to close to 4,000 a week. And if you do the math, you see that's 8,000 every 2 weeks, potentially 16,000 a month that we must feed, clothe, house, educate children, and all the services that you would give a normal adult. And we're seeing that play out on our streets of New York. And that is what the breaking point looks like, what we are experiencing right now.
So, look, Eric Adams, we've been saying this from the very beginning. This is the penalty of being a sanctuary city and or a sanctuary state. This is what happens. We've been saying that from the jump. So I don't understand why you continue to double down. It's like, look, you can't have it both ways. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Not your cake and not your Kate and Edith too. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state and then complain about the effects of being a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state. Either you're going to be a sanctuary or you're not. There's no having both. That's not how this thing works. Now, his friend, his compadre, his amigo, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, gave an almost identical press conference sitting in front of the camera. Like, let's watch this. Hold on. Give me a second.
Chicago, anywhere else in the country. The public good is already stressed. Whether it's our transportation system, our healthcare system, our education system, all of these systems are already stretched to meet the demands of families who have been here. Over the past 7 months, it's been an incredible strain on every aspect of city services, and in Chicago, anywhere else.
So it's like, okay, you're talking about how services are being strained, money's not really available, all this and that and the third. But again, you guys are not getting down to the bottom of what is causing the problem. Y'all not getting down to the bottom of it. It's simple. You are a sanctuary city in Chicago, a sanctuary city in New York City, a sanctuary state in Illinois, and a sanctuary state in New York State. Like, get down to the bottom of it. Again, you cannot have your Kate and Edith or your cake and eat it too. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot be a sanctuary city and then complain about being a sanctuary city. That's just silly. You're caught in the middle of trying to virtue signal, trying to appease your liberal people that support you. You're trying to, do that while at the same time saying that it's not working out. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's pretty weird. Now we're going to keep on going here. I have a picture for you guys, and then we're going to get to the whole thing about the calendar in a little bit. But check this out. They're talking about electric vehicles. What do you do when your electric vehicle has a software issue and doesn't start? You guys might not be able to see this. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. This is a dashboard of a vehicle. I'm not quite sure. It's a Ford. This could be a Lightning. I'm not sure what this is. Probably a Lightning. Check it out. It says update not successful. Unfortunately, a recent software update was not successful. Your vehicle cannot be driven. Please call customer support. And it says Ford. and you got to put it in a neutral and call it a tow truck, all this, that, and the third. Now, this could be a gas vehicle, but I've not seen a tablet this big and the regular. I think it's the Lightning, the all-electric pickup, the all-electric F-150. Now, but they do have gas, ICE vehicles with the same problem, but a lot of your electric vehicles are going to have this issue. Now, what happens when your vehicle can be controlled by the federales like this, where it's not just about your update not working and your vehicle not being able to be driven. It's not just that. Maybe they could just say, okay, well, you've done something wrong. We think you're a suspect in the crime. We think that you just shouldn't really go anywhere today. Or we're shutting the grid down and you can't charge a vehicle. There's all kinds of ways you can be controlled with the technology. If this can happen and you can't drive your car anymore, see, now we got a problem. They don't want you to have the older cars that don't rely on this technology because they know that the older cars cannot be controlled this way. Okay, you got your 2000 Toyota Corolla with 500,000 miles on it, and it's still running like a charm. You got you a 2003 a 4Runner or something like that that's still rocking and rolling, ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, if I wish I still had my old 4Runner. I had a 4Runner back in 2000. I had an 06 4Runner back in 2009. Oh, that thing was a beauty. It was a beauty. I like modern cars, technology. I like having the screens and all that I like that, but at the same time, I like having the control of the previous vehicles. I don't like having to get a full-size truck and a 4-cylinder, something crazy, a 6-cylinder. Ain't nobody got time for that. So that's what's happening. All right. So if you have an older car and it is running, hold on to it, because this can happen to you. And all of a sudden you're trying to drive your car and it's not working out for you. It's not working out. So yeah, shout out to the 4Runner. Shout out to the 03. You got an 06 Tundra with 326,000. It probably runs like brand new, doesn't it? Okay, you just do your maintenance, your brakes, tires, your timing belt, water pump, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you got your good suspension, just your basic routine maintenance, oil changes, all that kind of stuff, and you'll be good money. You'll be good money. All right. So yeah, shout out to the Toyotas. All right. Shout out to Yoda Nation, if that's the correct phraseology of it. All right. Let's keep on going here. Now, do I want to show this? I might want to show this because it's going to kind of lead into the other thing. All right. This person is a biological male who identifies as a Muslim woman. He's a white guy, but he says he's Muslim. Now, I'm not sure how it's really going to work. If you go over there and you say this, it might not go too well for you, but let's check it out.
Salam, everyone. I just gotta ask, who's cosplaying? See, cosplaying is when you dress up as something that you aren't.
Oh, so hold on. He's responding. This is a TikTok. Again, TikTok is a virus. All right, he's on TikTok. This person, looking like an NFL assistant coach, says, he's responding to a comment that says, why are they cosplaying a female Muslim?
Salam, everyone. I just gotta ask, who's cosplaying? See, cosplaying is when you dress up as something that you aren't or someone you aren't. I am a Muslim woman. I wear what a Muslim woman wears. I dress like that. So, who's cosplaying here? I think you need to learn the words that you're trying to use because they ain't working for you.
All right, so this guy says he's a Muslim woman, and you got to respect his pronouns. So if he goes to the airport, we're going to get to that in a minute. If he goes to the airport and says, hey, it's ma'am, and you say that he's not ma'am, he's going to be upset, and that male rage might come out, okay? Looking like Jared Goff with your cosplay outfit on. All right, if Jared Goff put on some lipstick and the glasses and the hijab, you have this particular character right here on his living room couch talking on TikTok. We're going to get to that in a minute. All right, now, speaking about airports, you got these guys, a LGBT married couple tripping in the airport. What do you do when you see stuff like this? And y'all let me know, what airport would this kind of thing happen? Is this like a LaGuardia? Is this Hartsfield Jackson? Is this LAX? Is this DFW? What airport do you think this kerfuffle happened?
You don't care about the girls. And they just hush. You don't care about the girls. Hello, everybody. Justin. American Airlines. This over. Start. Here we go. Justin. Here. I'm not kidding. You don't care about the girls? So I want to tell you about Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Remember them. I'm going to do it for you. Shelby and Dolly. That's it. Shelby and Dolly. Remember them. Shelby and Dolly. Remember them.
Now, these two guys are having some kind of dispute because the one guy, and the matching outfits are hilarious. They both have on like horizontal striped shirts for some reason, horizontal striped long sleeve shirts with the regular collars. But anyway, he's upset about his dog. I think his dog is not with him for some reason. It's really weird. He's tripping in the airport. Now, if you're in the airport and you see this, you minding your business, you go in the other direction, or are we going to get a viral moment on TikTok? Are we going to record like what's happening? Me personally, I got my headphones on. I don't see anything. Now, what you're seeing right here is airport people acting the fool. And this leads me into what I really want to show. This video right here. Oh, man, this was crazy. Shout out to my man right here. This guy, the LaGuardia Delta employee. You, sir, need a raise. You need a medal. You handle this particular LGBTQ Elemental P airport nut job. You handle they, them, he, her, she's him with such grace. It was a master class in professionalism. It was perfect. Now, you got to see this video if you've not seen it. I put it on my YouTube earlier as a short. We're going to see it right here again. And this particular person right here in the picture is the individual who was tripping and acting the fool. The guy's name I don't know. If you guys know his name, he's an actor, by the way. This was not a skit, though. This is not a skit, but this guy right here is an actor by profession, and he was the one acting the fool. Let me see if I can find this particular individual's name. Y'all give me a second. Let me see. His name is Tommy Dorfman. Tommy Dorfman. He's an actor turned actress. All right, let's check it out. Y'all give me one moment. I'm going to load it up, and here we go. Again, this is LaGuardia Airport. What's behind him is a sign of a plane that's going to Atlanta, but they're not in Atlanta. They're in LaGuardia, New York.
And what about when an adult employee misgenders you intentionally?
While he's talking, you're talking.
You just misgendered me again.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Gotcha.
Both of you have.
Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, that's also.
Well, she did do it intentionally twice.
You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have Port Authority escort you out the building right this moment if you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good. I'll just put this on.
Now, I don't know why this particular individual put this on the internet. He thought it would be a good idea. Like, this is going to be a great show. Like, oh, I showed him you can't misgender me. It's like, my man, he's not trying to do anything. He's just trying to do his job. You're coming in there. It's like you're harassing them. See, this is called bullying. He's just doing his job at the counter in the airport. Okay, get your pass and go over there. You're not going to sit here and talk me to death. All right, look. And if you want to talk me to death, going back and forth, being condescending, filming me, check it out. We're in LaGuardia. We're going to call Port Authority, and you're going to be escorted out immediately. Okay? Whatever your pronouns are, it doesn't really matter because check it out. When you're outside of the airport, it doesn't even, you're not even going to be a factor anymore. Let's watch it one more time. Check it out.
And what about when an adult employee misgenders you intentionally?
While he's talking, you're talking.
You just misgendered me again.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Gotcha.
Both of you have.
Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, That's also.
Well, she did do it intentionally twice.
You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have Port Authority escort you out the building right this moment if you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good. I'll just put this on.
So yeah, shout out to my man. Like, shout out to him. Yeah, that look right there is like, really, is that what we're going to do? Shout out to him, because I don't like people getting bullied. I hate that. That's the worst thing in the world. I don't care where it is. You could be a kid in school. You could be somebody at your job. I don't like people that talk to people working like they're garbage, like they're nothing. It's like, this is a human being here. Show him some respect. He's showing you some respect. He's like, look, it wasn't intentional, but if you're taking it that way, I understand. He's being professional. He's not trying to insult you. Although you're looking like a whole man wearing a dress, it's confusing. You understand? You can't expect him to just automatically understand what to call you. And look, check it out. Keep on going back and forth, being condescending, go over there. So that was very well handled. Shout out to him. Shout out to, and hopefully he doesn't get fired from his job over at Delta or anything like that, because he doesn't deserve to get fired. He deserves to get promoted, because I think he speaks for the majority of us when we say we're tired of the nonsense. We're tired of it. We're totally tired of it. Now, speaking about being tired of it, I think a lot of us are tired of marketing, woke marketing, gigantic people, LGBTQ, elemental P, people that have no gender, confusing, all kind of, we're tired of that as well. Now, this is where I get into the Calendargate kerfuffle. Okay, now, if you don't know what Calendargate is, I'll explain it briefly. Then I'm going to get into all the things that's going on with it. Now, on Twitter, there is an issue with a calendar that has been released. The calendar features conservative women for each month. And some people who say they're Christian, they're conservative, they got a real problem with it. They got an issue with it. And it's a thing that shouldn't be happening. There's all kind of stuff going on. Now, me, I'm like, I don't think it's really that bad. And I don't think that just because somebody claims to be conservative does not mean they're also Christian at the same time. And even if you are Christian, must you be so Puritan? Now, before I get to that, let's look at some things first, okay? Remember this picture right here, this billboard, this Calvin Klein billboard. Now, this is a thing that I've seen being railed against for years by conservatives. Understand this. This billboard of this gigantic woman in a Calvin Klein ad came out in 2019. 2019, we're going into 2024. And every now and again, I will still see this image popping up. This has become iconic because people think of this as like the face of woke marketing. Okay. Now, I understand we're not going to have 100% people that look beautiful and are fit and things like this. But what we're doing right here is promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, the whole body positive movement. And I saw a video somewhere where somebody was talking about these fat influencers. I'm not quite sure if it was her, but there was at least 4 fat influencers and they were all dead before the age of 40. You know, online, they were all dead before the age of 40. So we're talking about an unhealthy lifestyle that's being promoted. All right. So what did a lot of us say? Hey, you know what? Let's not have this be the face of, popular culture or a thing that people should aspire to be. Let's go a different direction. Okay. Now, here's something else that we saw. Remember this individual? Remember this? Remember this? This is your main man, Dylan Mulvaney. And Bud Light did an ad deal with Dylan Mulvaney. They gave him a can of Bud Light and they gave him a promo code. They thought it would be something small, not really a big deal. And of course, Dylan is a man who identifies as a woman. This cost Budweiser, and if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. This cost Anheuser-Busch 25% revenue. And if that's wrong, y'all let me know. Either it's Anheuser-Busch as a collective or just a Bud Light. 25% drop. It was a nationwide boycott of Bud Light. Okay? So obviously we don't like the super gigantic, way overweight, unhealthy people on these ads. We don't like men dressed as women. That's going to be a thing that we don't like. So if we don't like the gigantic women in the ads, if we don't like men dressed as women in the ads, what do we like? You know what I like as a heterosexual man who likes women? I like pretty women. I'm not afraid to say it. I know that could be taboo. That could be taboo to depend upon who you talk to. Some super Christian, super woke Christians say you can't like women. You can't be attracted to women. That's lustful. That's a sin. Really? Is that a sin to like women, to be a heterosexual? Huh? Now, check it out. Here's the next thing. This picture, this is what's going on. Now, let me explain what's happening here. Shout out to Samira Khan. Shout out to Bryson. Shout out to everybody. This is not an attack on them. There's a calendar that came out from conservative dads, and I'm going to show you each picture in the calendar. Now, this particular image is a screenshot of a video of somebody going through the calendar. Now, the person, redhead libertarian, who's right there in the picture, she pauses the video on a picture of her. And the caption from Samira Khan, who's not, she's against the calendar, she says, "Why do the conservatives do this?" with a clown picture, saying that the calendar is a bad thing. And then Bryson says, "This is demonic." Now, do you think this picture right here, do you think this picture right here is inappropriate? Is it inappropriate? Is it demonic? Is it not a thing that's suitable for a Christian? Y'all let me know. Again, I'm not going to do a poll. I want to know you guys' response. Is this inappropriate or appropriate? Now, for you guys who can't see the actual screen, if you listen to me on audio only, what you have is a woman in the kitchen, literally, okay, with a cross on her wall, wearing an apron with a dress on. The dress, like, if she put her fingertips down, you probably got about, maybe it might go right past, it might be a little bit above her fingertips, maybe, or right at the edge of her fingertips. It's not a very short dress, but it's not a very long dress either. And she has on heels. Okay. She's literally in the kitchen. Now, is this immodest? Is this inappropriate? Is this demonic? Now, my thing, I said to Bryson, was like, come on, man, you gonna call that demonic? Really? What are we saying? He's saying that it's demonic, and the calendar as a whole was showing women in an inappropriate way, and things that were in the calendar just shouldn't happen. He called the guy a pimp for selling the calendar. I'm like, really? Now, you don't see anything bad. You don't see hardly inappropriate. Was this risque in the 60s, really? Like, what were they wearing in the 60s? Were they wearing like muumuus and things of this nature? Somebody sent me a picture, and I'm gonna put it up in a second. Hold on. Somebody sent me a picture of what they thought would be appropriate. I bust out laughing, and nothing against the person that sent this to me, but it was really funny. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna try to pull this up right quick because it was crazy. It was totally nuts. Like, people were sending me stuff of Mennonites. It's like, Mennonites? First of all, where can you even get that at? Where do you even get Mennonite outfits at? You gotta go to, like, you gotta go to the Mennonite hood in Ohio, somewhere in the deep mountain, to find anything like that at all. Hold on, I can't even find it. Let me see if they have it anywhere. But I'm gonna try to find it in a minute, and I'm gonna keep on going. So that's the thing. Now I'm gonna show you the full calendar in a second. I'm gonna show you the full calendar to see if this is inappropriate or not. Oh, and then here's what I posted. Here was my response. I was like, hey, Bryson, must women dress like this, like the milk cows for a living, in order to be considered conservative? And you see what we got going on. We got the Amish. We got, the full, you can't see anything. Like not even ankle showing. Well, a little bit of ankle right there. That's kind of haram. Or maybe the old, the burqa, the little mailbox isolate. That might be appropriate right there. You can't see her face, her body shape, nothing. All right. All black. So you can't see any. It's nobody at all. Now, people, it was a joke, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, where's the line? What's appropriate versus inappropriate? I'm having a hard time understanding. And check it out. Y'all know me. I was born in West Virginia, but I grew up in Virginia Beach. I'm a beach boy. So I grew up on the beach. I grew up going to the beach. So seeing women in bikinis and guys with no shirts on, that's like super regular. To me, there's nothing. It's not a lustful thing. It's like, okay, they're going to go in the water. They're going to go to the pool. They're going to go surfing, whatever it is. They're going to lay on the beach, lay on the sand. That's like regular. I saw that my whole life growing up. So to me, none of this means anything. Now check it out. Let's look at the actual pictures from the calendar, okay? So that's Josie right there, redhead libertarian. All right, that's one of the pictures. You see it a little bit more clearly here. Again, nothing. It's pretty tasteful. You don't see any of her cleavage. You don't see any of her backside. You don't even see the outline of her curves. And pardon me, I'm gonna speak a little bit adult, but not too inappropriate. The thing that impresses me the most is a KitchenAid back here. That KitchenAid, I have purchased one before for somebody. Those things are very expensive. Okay, so that right there to me is the most impressive thing here. Okay, she looks nice. Okay, you got her pie, you bake, and it looks great. Shout out to her. But that KitchenAid right there, that's the most impressive thing to me. All right, now here's something else. We got Dana Lash. All right, now, do you think that's inappropriate? She has on black jeans. You can't see any curve shape at all. She has on a black t-shirt, a short sleeve t-shirt with no bust line showing, and she has two guns. Now, to me, if you ask me, that's hot. That is getting the pressure rising. Okay, that right there, I like that. I like those guns. Can I get one of those guns? Because look, Dana, if you can hear me, Dana, I lost all my guns in a tragic boating accident, and I would like to have that, or at least just borrow it for a while. I'm not going to possess it, federal government. I want to borrow it for a while, maybe at a range. You and your husband, I can go with y'all and hang out at the range. Those guns are amazing. Okay. So again, these are pictures from the calendar I'm showing you. All right. This is the demonic, inappropriate calendar that I'm showing you. All right. Now, Sarah Gonzalez. Okay. You have her wearing a skirt dress type situation. And by the way, it says ultra right on it. A lot of them are wearing things that say ultra right. She has an apron that says ultra right. I think that's the name of the calendar, or the name of the people that put the calendar together, ultra right. So Dana Lash had on t-shirt say ultra right, and then her dress says ultra right on top of it. It's kind of a short dress. You got kind of like fishnets. You don't even see her feet. You don't even see her feet, let alone her shoes. You don't see the back of her body. You don't see any bust line. She has a cigar, and she burning a New York Times newspaper. So is this demonic? Is this inappropriate? I'm showing all the pictures. I'm showing every picture from the calendar so nobody can say that I left anything out. All right. Now, if you guys think it's inappropriate, you guys let me know. If anything I'm showing is wrong, just give me a holler in the comments and I'll try to see it. All right. Now we got Brittany Jean. Okay. This right here, this is like this. If I saw you at the beach wearing this, I'd be like, you trying to cover up. You have on like a onesie, a one-piece bikini with a cover over the bottom of your body. So I can't really see the bottom of the one piece. I can't see the back of you. I don't see any bust line. Your bust line is covered up by your hair, and it's a high bust top. So it's not low, it's high, and the part right here that might be a little bit showing is covered up by your hair. This is modest. If I see you in the beach, again, I grew up on the beach. If I saw you there, like, I'd be like, okay, she's trying to cover up. She's kind of like a Christian. That's what I would think. Okay, a onesie, a whole onesie, a one piece. We call it a onesie down the beach. All right. Hey, shout out to the feet. Hey, you gave me seeing the feet. I'm gonna cover the feet up. But you barely see the feet. You got the feet buried in the sand. Okay, I only see no polish on the feet. It's like that might be something that kind of get the needle moving, but that right there, what I'm seeing right here is not too much. Okay, now Bethany Bartlett. Again, these are all pictures from a conservative calendar. Okay, conservative women, libertarian, okay, freedom-loving, patriot women. Now you have her in workout outfit. You got her in the gym working out. This right here is nothing. You see worse than this all day on TikTok, all day long. You would go to your local gym and see worse than this. This is nothing. You can't see too much of the bust. You can't even see too much. This is so basic, so benign. Covered up Christian. This, in my opinion, let me tell you something right here. I think this calendar gives a nice balance in between, like totally like OnlyFans. Like it's nowhere near that kind of stuff. Nor is it burqa action. Nor is it Mennonite Amish. It's like right in the middle, showing real biological XY women, beautiful women who are also conservative, who believe in, Second Amendment and freedom of speech, things of this nature. Okay. And here's something else. 10% of the proceeds go to help people like Riley Gaines and whatnot in the fight against males competing against females in women's college sports. Okay. So what's the problem? All right. Catalina Loft, a pair of shorts, which you will see. Look, you go to any college campus. It could be a Christian college. Go to Liberty College in Virginia. Any college all over the country, they got that on. To me, the vehicle in the back is the hottest part of the picture. She's cool. Nothing against her. Shout out to her with the shorts and the heels and the t-shirt. Again, no bust line showing. Shout out to her, but that vehicle in the back. Can I get the car? I mean, you could just go ahead and take her over there. You could just, okay. That vehicle though, yeah, I'm gonna need that vehicle. So, matter of fact, give me a calendar with just cars. Just exotic cars, old school cars. Give me that. Yeah, it's a nice picture. This is like 1970s Daisy Duke. Daisy Duke was just more revealing than this. This is nothing. All right. Now, Ashley St. Clair. Now, who does Ashley St. Clair look like right here? Well, pardon me. Who is trying to look like what Ashley St. Clair looks like? I just showed you your main man, Dylan Mulvaney. So we're mad at Dylan Mulvaney for being a man doing this. Ashley St. Clair is an actual biological woman. She looks pretty nice. She's doing it. Now we got a problem. For why? For what reason? I don't get it. It's so dumb. You hate on Dylan Mulvaney, rightfully so, but also her. So what are women to do? Nothing. Just be frumpy. just not be prudent. You know what? You know what I saw recently? I got persuaded into watching Mean Girls. I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. That wasn't really my bag. I'm not into those kind of movies. Okay. That wasn't really a thing I was into. I wasn't, in my early 20s. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch Mean Girls. But I got persuaded to watch it recently. And a lot of what's happening right now, because again, people are mad about the calendar. People are upset. And I think there's a lot of haters out there. Some women wish they could look like her, want to be in the calendar, and since they can't beat her, they got to hate. Conservative, liberal, whatever, they're going to hate. That's what it is. Because you want this to be what represents you. Okay? You want this kind of image out there. Nice looking woman, not too trashy, not trashy at all, pardon me. Not trashy, nice looking, classic. You want that kind of image out there for girls to aspire to, rather than your twerking, BBLs, ridiculous, disgusting surgery bodies, okay? And girls want to be pretty. They want to look nice. They want to be attractive. That's okay. That's totally fine. When you say that they can't be attractive and they can't be pretty, it's like, what can they be? What can they be? You want them to be bulldaggers wearing basketball shorts, things of this nature? If that's you, that's fine. But most girls and women don't want to do that. Just like men, we don't want to be Dylan Mulvaney, right? We don't like the image of men being Dylan Mulvaney and all the LGBT stuff going on. We don't like that. We want more masculine people to be who represent us as men. Yeah. Women want more feminine women to represent them as women. Anyway, but yeah, the movie Mean Girls was really good to show kind of what's going on here. Now check it out. Kim Klacik, shout out to Kim Klacik. This is her picture. Now, again, very modest. This is like business casual. She has on a dress. It might even be like a dress, like a short, like a skirt or something. That could be shorts right here with a pair of heels on, and you don't see the front of her at all, no bust, and then she's holding the calendar. She's holding the umbrella that's like painted on the wall. That's inappropriate. I'm failing to find anything inappropriate. So we got Riley Gaines wearing the bikini. Riley Gaines was a swimmer, so she wear a bikini to swim in Kentucky. But now we got a bikini going on the beach, which is real normal. You go to the beach, you're going to see this. Again, I grew up on the beach. To me, this is just like regular. I see that all day long. And it's to the point now where I go to the beach, I see thongs, I see everything, which wasn't happening back then, but you don't see this going on here. Look, when I go to the beach right now, can I be a little bit more explicit? Just a teeny bit. When I go to the beach now, I'm seeing see-through tops. I'm seeing thongs. I'm seeing everything. Everything. You don't see that right here. This is more of a tasteful bikini image that you would see on the beach or at a pool. So is this somehow inappropriate? And if it's and here's a question. To anyone who says that it's inappropriate, if you go to the beach, you're a hypocrite. You know, I was in the space on Twitter saying that same argument, and there was a guy talking about, oh, nah, I don't go to the beach for the women. I go for the sand in the water. It's like, okay. It's like, all right, yeah, you go for the sand in the water. And then my argument was, look, I don't go to the strip club for the girls on stage. I go for the wings, which really is a thing, by the way. That's a thing. You go to Atlanta, Magic City, you can go to the strip club at all hours of the night and get a fresh basket of wings. Fresh, I'm using that term kind of loosely. Understand me. So fresh, I get it. You can get some wings that just got put in the grease at 3 a.m. in Magic City and don't even go there for the girls. My argument was not accepted, but you can go to the beach and understand this. I grew up on the beach. I know what it is. When you guys who live inland and don't go to a beach really normally, when you come to Virginia Beach, you want to go to the beach right away. And where y'all want to go? 17th Street, right off the Interstate 264. You want to go right to the tourist location. You want to stay in the Oceanfront Hotel, and you want to go right there to the Strip, Atlantic, Pacific, 17th Street, 18th Street. You want to go right to the thick of it. You're going to see thousands upon thousands of girls just like this on the beach. Yes, you will. Oh, yes, you will. You're not going to the private beaches. You're not going there. You're going right to the tourist traps. Y'all going to Cancun. Y'all going to Turks and Caicos, right to the tourist traps with thousands of people. That's where you go. So I'm not trying to hear anything about, oh, I love the sand in the water. All right, yeah, whatever. You are a normie. You are a tourist. You go to where other normies and tourists are, okay? If you go to Jamaica, you're not going to go to some random beach by yourself. You're going to stay on the resort. Yes, you are. And don't lie to me. I grew up there. I know how y'all do. I know how you do. So if you say this is inappropriate, if you've ever gone on vacation I don't want to hear a word because I know where you go. I know where you go. I know what tourists do. All right. So that's pretty much it. There was one more picture, but I don't see it here. There was one more picture. Oh, here's more. Peyton Drew. Now, people don't like what Peyton Drew had on because she has bust. Now, she just happens to be fit and kind of attractive. I mean, she looks nice, but that's not really my cup of tea necessarily, but a lot of you guys like her. Now, if she didn't look like this, if she wasn't so fit and, busty, then it wouldn't even be a problem. If she looked normal in her shorts and her bikini top and her heels, nobody would say anything, but because she's attractive and she's going to generate a lot of attention from men, then it becomes a problem. You got the women who are going to hate and the men who are going to hate on her because they hate that she's attractive. All right. So yeah, that is the calendar. Now check it out. There was one more picture I can't find. There was one picture of a young lady in a tub, but she was covered up by the suds. She had on like a bra top, but you didn't see anything below her neck. It was just, it wasn't, you didn't see anything. You didn't even see her feet, which was kind of disappointing a little bit. That would have been nice, but I'm kind of playing with being serious. So that is a calendar. That's what got people up in the tizzy on the interwebs. Okay, link for the calendar? Sure, hold on. Give me a second. ultrarightbeard.com. Okay, ultrarightbeard.com. I am not sponsored by these people at all. This is just a thing that happened on the internet that I wanted to share with you guys because, again, the whole thing was people were upset at the calendar because it says Real Conservative Women of America. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me see if I can just show you guys the cover, all right? They were mad that it was conservative women. See, look, Real Women of America, Conservative Dads, featuring the most beautiful conservative women in America, okay? $25 on their website. Now, people were upset that it had conservative in it because they link Christian to conservative. And also, Josie, the redhead libertarian with the apron on in the kitchen, she had a cross in the background. So they say, you know what? That's inappropriate to link this kind of imagery with Christianity and with conservatism, which is kind of a reach, really. And again, this is nothing. This is like super regular. I mean, for me personally, this does nothing for me. This is just like going back to Virginia Beach where I grew up and going down the strip. That's nothing. Really, I would see more action on the spring break when you got the girls twerking, but different story. I digress. This right here, let me tell you something about Virginia. And you guys who know, when I would go down to the beach, you have different vibes on the daytime versus the nighttime. In the daytime, you're going to see tourists like this. Okay, they're going to be with their family, with their mom and their dad and their brother and their sister. You're going to see them walking down the strip, going to the surf shop, getting ice cream, going to the hotel. They were doing normie stuff like y'all do when you go to a place that you're not familiar with. You're going to do the touristy things. Get on the Ferris wheel. You see it in the daytime. In the nighttime, that's when my hood guys come out. And we're going to see the club, drinking, smoking, twerking, all kind of stuff. Okay? Some criminality going on. You see this action right here on the screen in the daytime. Normie, touristy activities. This is nothing at all. Hold on. Way of the Road says, Virginia Beach, is that where Rex and Effects filmed the Rump Shaker video? Yes, absolutely. Little story about that. So Rex and Effects knew that was with Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley allowed Pharrell to do the beginning part. Hold on. All I want to do was zoom in. I think that was Pharrell. That part. Because they were in Virginia. Like at this time you got Teddy Riley, he left and went to Virginia. I think one of the guys from Paid in Full, I don't know if it was Mitch or Alpo, whoever, one of the guys from the Paid in Full team from that movie in real life went to Virginia and Teddy went with him, Teddy Riley. And then he stayed out there built the studio. And at this time, you got Pharrell coming up, Timbaland coming up, Missy coming up. And Pharrell did quite a bit of work with Teddy in the beginning. And one of them was Rump Shaker. Yep. And they filmed the video right there in Virginia Beach. Sure did. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's that. But anyway, so that whole thing was crazy. And when I brought up the whole beach argument, they had no rebuttal because I know how people are being from the beach at all. Exactly, Michael Critch. So the goons come out at night in the beach. Yes, indeed. So the tourists, I would tell anybody that came to Virginia, it's like, okay, if you want to go down the beach, we got to go during this time and this time. If you go past a certain time, it's going to be a little different. You're going to get a different kind of element down there. Teddy Riley from, he had two groups. He had, Rex and Effects, that was early. I think he was a producer for them, but he had a group called Guy, a singing group with Aaron Hall. And he also had Blackstreet, No Diggity. You know that song. That was Teddy Riley. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys in the chat. You guys are amazing. I appreciate y'all. So, and you know what? I got one more post about the calendar that I move on. Now, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Y'all give me just 1 second. I'm gonna put this up so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So Jenna Ellis, you know who that is. I think Jenna Ellis, she was linked to Trump at one point. I'm not quite sure what she did in the campaign, but anyway, Jenna Ellis says this is a problem with conservatives who think they can just act like the secular world. If conservatives aren't morally grounded Christians, what are we even conserving? This whole calendar thing is a no from me, but it's not surprising given the current state of the movement. So she's against what I just showed you. She says this is just not what we should do. If we're conservatives, how can we conserve this? This is just bad. She says this, but check this out. Wait a minute. Hold on. Jenna, is that you? Is that you on the beach with a bikini and a drink? Oh my goodness. Oh, if I had pearls, I'd clutch them. If I had pearls, they'd be all over the place. They'd be all on my computer screen, all on my keyboard, everywhere, all on my mixer. That's what I'm talking about. It's a hypocrisy. It's like, look, a bikini for me does nothing. That's like not even a thing that is really enticing because I grew up on the beach seeing bikinis, seeing swimsuits. It's nothing. But Jenna Ellis, how can you say a thing like that and say that it's not conservative and that's ruining the movement when you put this picture of yourself up in a bikini on the beach drinking? I don't get it. I have no issue with it, but you do. But apparently you don't. Sometimes. This is a hypocrisy that I don't like. I don't like it. It's weird. It's kind of cringe. If you're going to be Puritan and against bikinis and things of this nature, then be that way all the time, not just when it's convenient to virtue signal and say, look at me, I'm so holy, I'm so much of a Christian, I'm a Puritan, look at me. This is hypocrisy. And it was funny because in public, yeah, you see she's on the beach, people are around right there on the grass. Okay. There was a guy right next to her taking the picture and she's drinking. Okay. She got a beach towel. So come on, what are we doing? And she put the picture on her own Twitter. She got the picture, put it on Twitter, made a post. Then she says that the calendar is somehow demonic and somehow wrong. It's weird. It's weird. Rules for thee, but not for me. But maybe the whole thing is like the Mean Girls. If you look like some of the girls in the calendar, then it'd be all right. But since you're not quite that way, then it's a problem. Again, I don't see an issue either way. You want to wear a bikini, Miss Ellis, and go ahead. But you got to give the same grace to the girls in the calendar. It can't be this hypocrisy going on. But anyway, it's a one piece. I showed you a one piece. I showed you in the calendar a one piece, didn't I? In the calendar, I showed you a one piece. So let's not even do that. It's weird. It's kind of cringe. It's weird. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Matter of fact, hold on. I showed you the one piece in the calendar. But, you know, since this girl looks better in some people's eyes than Jenna Ellis, then it doesn't really count, right? That's a one piece, and she's covered up. She's covered up more than Jenna Ellis. You see no bust line, and her bottom is covered with a I don't know what you call that, a shawl or something. She's more covered up than Jenna Ellis, but yet Jenna Ellis says the calendar is bad. Anyway, whatever. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. It is an anime. Shout out to Walton. Shout out to One Piece, the anime with like a million episodes. I've never watched it, but I've heard about it. Now, do I have more? Oh, let's get into the some finances here, shall we? California is raising their minimum wage to $20 an hour. $20? Listen, the minimum wage right now in California is $15.50, and they're raising it to $20. Now, I have quite a bit to say about this, you know, because I've worked in a restaurant before. I've worked in this industry. When I first started, I got paid $6.25. When I first started at Old Country Buffet back in 2002, I got paid $6.25 an hour. When I ended in 2007, I got paid $8 an hour. Okay, so this is in Virginia, of course. That's what I got paid back then. Now, I'm going to show you guys this video here. Give me a second. I got to find it. But this video here is crazy. So all California Pizza Huts are going to fire their delivery drivers because of the minimum wage hike. You're talking about 1,200 drivers fired. And what they're going to do as a result is give the delivery jobs to Uber Eats and DoorDash. So rather than Pizza Hut having first-party employees that do the deliveries and paying them a wage, rather than doing that, they would just give it to DoorDash, where there's no wages. So imagine if you are a Pizza Hut driver, you were getting paid $15 an hour plus tips. Now you're going to just get whatever fee you get from DoorDash. If you go that route, you get whatever DoorDash gives you, which is not going to be 15 or 20 or anything like that. It'll just be a per order thing. You get that fee plus maybe a tip. Maybe a tip. Let's check it out. And I'm going to give a lot of my 2 cents on it. All right, here we go.
Drivers with Pizza Hut say they will no longer have a job starting next year. Pizza Hut plans to lay off all of its delivery drivers in California and start using third-party delivery services. Fox 26 reporter Sophia Alessio spoke to an employee who says this is absolutely inhumane and cruel of the company.
So I'm going to pause right here. I see a comment. Shout out to Love You Lots. Love You Lots says, cost of living in California impossible. Can't make a living on $20 an hour. Now, what if you get 15 an hour plus tips? The wage is not really the thing. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's keep on going here.
Sophia?
Monty, Pizza Hut has decided to cut the delivery driver positions permanently because of the rise in minimum wage in California, which would go from $16 an hour to $20 an hour starting in April. One driver tells me that after getting this letter today, less than a week before Christmas, this is going to negatively affect thousands of families across the state.
I feel like it's a big guy picking on the little guy.
6 days before Christmas, Pizza Hut tells its employees many won't have a job starting February 16th, 2024.
You know, they make billions of dollars easily in profits, and for them not to want to pay their workers a living wage and just to fire them across the board is really not disrespectful, to say the least.
Okay, let's pause right here. My man is a Pizza Hut delivery driver. My advice would be to get a better job, ultimately. And if I was talking to myself when I was a young man working at Old Country Buffet, I would say the same thing. Get a better job. When I made $8 an hour, I knew that I couldn't do that forever. I knew I had to get better skills and get more money. Okay. Hold on. Let me see right here. It says that Jakey says no ABL. They make $15.50 an hour with tips included. Yes, you can make more, but Pizza Hut has only to pay the difference if you don't have tips to make $15.50 an hour. Okay, but check it out. It doesn't even matter because you could just not get paid any tips at all. Any wages at all. If you get paid strictly in tips, you still make a lot of money. I'm going to get to that in a minute because I know this industry. I worked restaurant industry for about 5 years. I know about money. I know about everything. I'm going to just express myself right here. So he's saying there's only about $3 or $4 more in difference between what it was and what it would be. So the minimum wage was $15.50. Then it's going to go to $20 an hour. So let's just say for math's sake, you have a $5 difference. Okay. And let's also say for math's sake that you have 1,000 employees. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's going to be $5,000 per hour. They got to pay the same employees to do the same thing, the same productivity, the same employees, $1,000 per hour. Again, I'll run it down right quick. If the raise is $5 and there's 1,000 drivers affected, Pizza Hut must pay $5,000 more per hour. And let's say, for example, a store is open 12 hours. Let's just say 12 hours because they're pretty late opening and pretty late when they say open like 12 midnight, whatever. Let's say it's 12 hours. All right. So 12 hours times $5,000. So in one day, that's $60,000, 60,000 US dollars a day. All right. Now, let's do that in a week. Matter of fact, let's do, okay, in a day, let's do every day. Let's do 360. $21 million. $21,600,000 in a year they got to pay for the same employees and the same level of productivity. Why would I spend that money if I don't have to? $21 million. And let's not even talk about taxes, things of this nature. Just a wage increase just for 1,000 people for the same productivity, $21 million they got to pay every year. Why? For what? And it's not really going to help you because you even said it, my man. They're talking about the tips. If you don't get paid, if you don't get paid a wage plus tips, it's only tips and they only got to pay the difference. It's kind of silly. Look, let's go to a nice restaurant, right? Let's say you got a nice restaurant you work at and it's just tips only, not even wages. And you get tables that have a bill of about $200 on average at a decent middle of a restaurant, $200 an hour, $200 per tab. And you got 5 tables at a time for 10 hours. Okay, so let's do it. If you're getting 20% from each table on average, sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. You get 20% from each table on average. That's $40 from each table. And if you got 5 tables in an hour and $40, 20%, $200 an hour from tips alone at a good restaurant. And I know you guys who have waited tables is probably different. So $200 an hour and you work in, let's say, a part-time shift, 5 hours, $1,000 a day right there. Boom. So in a month, you might work 4 days. So let's say if you work 4 days a week, 16 days. So you're doing pretty good. 16 bands? And take taxes away, you're doing good. Now, if you're working at a kind of a lower level restaurant, you might get less. You might get $5,000, $8,000 a month if you go hard and it's busy and you're getting tables and you're doing well. So a driver, you guys tell me this. Have any of you guys ever been a delivery driver, and how much do you make from tips? How much do you make from the tips per hour? And here's another question. Would you rather have a job as a delivery driver making $15.50 an hour plus tips, or no job at 20? Or how about this? A job as a driver at $15 an hour plus tips, or just in the restaurant making the pies for $20 an hour. which one gives you the most money? Normies might think that you make more money on $20 an hour versus the 15, but they're not counting in the tips, which is going to be the majority of your income. You see what I'm saying? That'd be the majority of your income. So I'm just having a hard time understanding. Guys like this and people that advocate for the higher wages don't get it. They don't understand. If I had the opportunity to work, let's say Miami, Florida, as a bartender or something like that, I don't even need wages because I'm going to make money from the tips. I'm going to be charming. I'm going to be engaging. I'm going to be having a good time in there. I'm going to get a lot of tips. If I was to do that, if I was to be that kind of, I would be making hand over fist. It's bartenders now. Bartenders getting paid $200,000 a year, and that's not even uncommon. In big New York, Miami, they're getting big money. And they could do that for a long period of time. You got old guys in there getting that kind of money. So when you hung up on wages, you don't understand how to really get money. I suggest getting more education and getting more skills to get beyond that kind of thinking about I gotta extract more from the dollar wage amount. You see? That'd be my advice.
Really not disrespectful, to say the least.
Yum Brand Inc., which owns Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, and The Habit Burger Grill, reported it earned $24 billion in digital sales in 2022. But to earn even more money, Pizza Hut has decided to start using third-party drivers like Uber Eats and DoorDash and cut their own loyal workers and drivers out.
Correct, yes. They would rather put profits over people.
Marvin Lopez Rangel tells me he's been working for Pizza Hut for almost 5 years.
When they need you the most is when they want you, but it now looks like now that they can save, $3, they want to get rid of the driver instead of having some compassion and just say, hey, you know what? We will pay you guys the extra $2 or whatever, $3.
Compassion, ain't no compassion, because check it out. If you work for a small mom and pop shop and they say, you know what, we're having a hard time being able to make payroll and we can't pay you, can you work for free for about a month until we get back on our feet? I'll be like, man, I can't do nothing for you. I'm sorry you're going through whatever you're going through, but I can't do nothing for you. Okay, if you don't got the money, I'm out. Ain't no compassion. You want your paycheck every week to be there on time. If your paycheck is 1 red cent short, you calling the police. You bring in the pistol. I'm not saying that you should do that, okay, YouTube censors. If your paycheck is 1 red cent short, you're not going to be compassionate. You want that money. You don't care about the company going through financial problems. You don't care about any of that stuff. You want your money on time, okay? Remember the whole thing with Signature Bank when they're about to collapse and the federal government had to step in and save them, had to bail them out, because if they didn't, there was no paychecks coming because their accounts were empty. Remember that? Oh, yeah, it's that serious. You're going to print money from the federal government, from the Fed or whatever they want to call it. You're going to print money to make sure you get your paycheck. Ain't no compassion. What if they said, you know what? Hey, man, we had a bank account at Signature Bank and some things just went wrong. And, I know we owe you your money and your paycheck and you got to pay bills and whatnot, but we can't pay it, man. So you want to just hang in there? They're not trying to hear any of that, man. They're not trying to hear a word. If I get a paycheck for $10,000 and you give me $9,995, like, yo, where's the $5? I know I'm getting paid only $5 short of my $10,000, but where's the $5? Ain't no compassion. This business is money. I can be compassionate about what you're going through separately from getting my paycheck. But anyway, yeah, hold on. Love You Lot says 87,000 new IRS hires are coming after the waiters to get their tips. Yeah, I mean, of course, that's going to be a thing because they know how we trying to get money out here. We trying to, be on the low. But that's always been the thing with guys that, are, wait staff, getting tips and kind of hiding it. I'm playing this short right here to see what he says about tipping and about being a bartender, just briefly.
Fortune. And what do you do for a living?
All right, let's check it out. Give me a second. And
I bartend. What's a day in the life look like as a bartender? I just get to make drinks, serve customers, have fun, be some money. It's not bad. How long you been doing it? I'd say like a year, almost a year plus. And how much do you make off of bartending? The job I have, I'd say like roughly 4 to 5K a month. And what would you say your favorite thing about being a bartender is? Being able to socialize with people, just meeting new people is probably the best aspect, especially if you're a person that can see yourself to be like an introvert. And what advice would you give to someone in the service industry or wants to get into the service industry? Just control your spending. Honestly, save your money, invest it. That's the best you can do.
So this guy says he makes about 4 to 5 grand a month as a bartender. I believe him. I've been to a lot of these restaurants, nice spots that are jumping, that got a lot of customers. They get money. They get big money. I've seen it. Okay. I've literally witnessed it. I saw the Old Country Buffet, a spot. Listen, I've seen people at Old Country Buffet make a living where you were paying $10 to eat all you can eat. So imagine going to a place where the check is like $200 for 2 entrees and 2 drinks, $200. Imagine what they're getting for tips. I mean, I've seen people get tips, a whole wad of money, like boom, like just take that. And you're doing that all night. You're doing that 4, 5, 6 hours. So yeah, I believe it. So my point is, he probably makes all that money from tips. The wage is relevant. So what is the purpose of trying to get a wage increase from the federal government when it's not even really important? I knew one girl who said that she used to bartend back in the day and would put the checks under her bed, wouldn't even cash it because she had so much tip money. It just, you see what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's get to some super chats and then we're going to get to the calls. Did I get to everything else I wanted to get to? Oh, no Apple Watch. I think they reversed or they stayed the Apple Watch ban. So I think they canceled the Apple Watches, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can just find that right quick. Apple Watch. Yeah, they stayed it, so they can sell the Apple Watch again. The Apple Watch Series 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2. They could sell that again. Because what they did was they allegedly stole a medical sensor and put it in the watch. I don't have mine on right now because it's distracting at a certain point. If I'm doing my show and people are trying to call me on my phone, it'll ring or it'll be a text. It's good when I'm not talking and not doing my show so I can keep on going. If I'm just out doing my thing and I got my watch on, it's great. It's amazing. But not when I'm trying to get work done like this, when I'm trying to talk. All right. And the woman versus the intruder. Did you guys see that? Where the woman, so a woman wound up, I'll play it right quick because I'll get to the calls in a minute. But a woman wound up having to delete a home invader because he was trying to break into her house. And she didn't get charged by police. There's no criminal penalty happening in Fort Worth, Texas. She didn't get charged by police, but now she is facing eviction because they say she can't have a gun. And by the way, it's actually illegal for a landlord to say you can't have a gun in Texas. They must allow you to have your Second Amendment rights. So the eviction won't go anywhere. She'll be in court trying to battle it, but hopefully it doesn't even go to court because there's nothing to really fight over. It's illegal to ban gun owners from having guns in apartments, houses, or whatever as a landlord. That's illegal. And she's not getting in any kind of criminal trouble. Now, if she did something illegal, if she was in there cooking up meth or something like that, it's different. But all she did was defend herself. All she did was defend her home and defend her children. That's all she did. And she is facing eviction as a result. Now, let's check it out right quick. Then I'm going to get to the calls.
Worth woman who shot and killed a teenager she says was breaking into her rental home told us today how the incident has changed her life. Police have not filed charges for the shooting and they plan to submit the case for a grand jury review. Aaliyah Wallace talked exclusively with Fox 4's Sean Rabb, who joins us now live. Sean.
Leah Wallace bought a gun to protect herself and her family, she tells me, after a rash of break-ins in her apartment. Those happened while she and her family were not at home. But on December 14th, Twice that day, while she was home with her kids, someone tried to get in.
I was cleaning my living room, sweeping my floor, and I heard her window start going back up. So I went and I looked in the hallway, and I could see him standing at the window lifting it up, and I just shot.
Gunshots that killed 14-year-old Devin Baker at the bedroom window of Aaliyah Wallace's 8-year-old daughter early morning, December 14th.
It's bothering me that he was a kid.
The incident happened not long after police left Wallace's home after responding to her 911 call about someone trying to break into her duplex.
So I called him at 1:22 a.m. We talked for like 30 minutes. They did a report, took pictures of everything, and then they left.
I believe there were reports that you had been burglarized or attempted burglaries before?
Yes, I have like 3 or 4 police reports before this night.
So what has happened since this incident?
The apartment called and told me that I was not supposed to have a gun at all, even though I kept calling them and telling them somebody was breaking in. They told me I could not have a gun and that I have 30 days to vacate.
And how does that make you feel?
Feel like I'm back at square one. I've been there for 6 years.
So that's crazy. Again, she has 4 kids between the ages of 9 and 2. So you got, and they're all girls. And she by herself, no man in the house. Now, asking that question, where the man at, I have no idea. But at the end of the day, she's there. She has the kids. And they had tried to break into the house before. She's called the police several times. And they do police reports, but it's always like a targeted thing. Now, I don't really care that the person was 14. It's like, well, look, you should know at age 14 to not break into somebody's house. Okay, I was 14 at one point in time too, and I never had the idea to break into somebody's home. If I break into your house and I get deleted, that's on me. That's on me. She shouldn't feel bad. I understand she's going to feel bad because you're a human being and you took somebody's life, but she did what had to be done. Again, there's no criminal penalty. The police are not charging her with anything. She did right. She did everything right. As far as, defending herself, she called the police, got police reports. The person, I think, tried to break in twice in the same day, or it might have been a different guy, because she called the police about one person trying to break in, and then after the police left, another guy or the same guy comes back, tries to break in, and she literally is seeing the window open from the outside. So, okay, now I got my gun. This is the reason why I got it. I'm going to delete you. And that was it. That was it, and that was all. So he did. Oh, well, she did the right thing. She's not being charged by police, but she is facing eviction from her home. And again, I don't think it'll go through because it's illegal for an apartment, for a landlord at all, whether they have an apartment complex, duplex, house. A landlord cannot make a rule that says you can't have a gun in the house. That's illegal under Texas law. So this won't go anywhere, I hope, but I think it's going to be a court process for her to be able to get beyond it. All right. So, yeah, shout out to her protecting herself. That's what you have the right to defend yourself for those kind of things. No court action is going to come against her. And it's a lesson to anybody out there in the community. Don't run to somebody's house. Don't do things like this because you might end up losing your life. It is what it is. Christopher C., yes, I'm from the area. Well, to be specific, I didn't grow up in the city of Virginia Beach. I'm from Portsmouth, Chesapeake, that area. So I'm from the 7 cities. Put it to you that way. But when I talk to people that's not from the area, I say Virginia Beach because they might know that. They might know Virginia Beach, Norfolk. If I say Portsmouth, they're going to be like, where is that? So to avoid that question, I'll just say Virginia Beach. If I say Chesapeake, where's that? Huh? Virginia, like they get the 1,000-yard stare. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okie dokie. We got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Somebody was saying earlier, hey, ABL, pay your phone bill. Well, the phone lines are not on quite yet, but they will be when I finish with the super chats. So hang tight. I will get right to it. And shout out to Per Pill who says, ABL, please look up stories about illegal Chinese marijuana grow operations in Maine and New Mexico, and I'm sure all over the U.S. as well. Now I know where all the Chinese are going. Parpil also says, every time they blame the white man, I have to explain correlation isn't causation. Shout out to Apple Backer, I'll Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, how was Christmas dinner? ABL and the gravy dessert. It was pretty decent, but I'm not really into the gravy at all. I don't like gravy. Anybody that puts gravy on anything, I'm going to go ahead and just throw it away. If I go to somebody's house and they say, hey, you want any gravy with that? Or they try to pour it on there, I'll be like, let's not do the gravy. I'll pass on the gravy. I don't like it at all. But shout out to Apple again, who says, favorite delivery, pizza, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little Caesar. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Pizza Hut probably. Well, yeah, Pizza Hut. No, actually, I'm gonna say Marco's. Yeah, Marco's. But I don't get pizza delivered. I always go pick it up. Marco's and Papa John's. Little Caesar, that's what you eat when you living in the hood and you can't get any other pizza. Like that's that right there. But I've not had Domino's in a long time. I'm not really sure how it is. And he says, favorite pizza topping, bacon, ham, pineapple, disgusting. My favorite pizza topping would be, aside from pepperoni and sausage, black olives. Yeah, when I was a kid, I did not like olives at all. If pizza had any olives on it, I pick it off. What I get on my pizza now, I'm going to tell you what I get. Pepperoni, sausage, Italian sausage, spinach, bell pepper, black olives, and diced tomatoes. That's what I get on my pizza. Thin crust. Yep. From Marco's, when they cut it into the squares, perfect. Now, I don't eat pizza that often because the cheese, I have a hard time with the cheese sometimes. But if I can get a slice here and there, I'll definitely get it. All right. And anchovies, yes. Hey, you know what's good for anchovies? A Caesar salad. I like going to J. Alexander's where they make the salad dressing in-house and they grind up the anchovies. And what I tell them is, yo, just bring some anchovies out on top of the salad, like croutons. So with a Caesar salad, get you some anchovies, croutons, some Parmesan, and some of the Caesar dressing with some nice green romaine. Oh, ain't nothing like it. That right there, that's the wave. But anchovies are good though. They're delicious. They are delicious. Put it on the pizza as well. Absolutely. Only thing about it is kind of salty, so you got to do it sparingly. Like, you could put 3 anchovies like that big and like thin on the pizza. Just spice it up a little bit. A piece here and there. That'll set it off just right. Too many items? No, it's good. It's good. That's all you need. It don't got to be too dense. It could just be lightly spread. Just, sprinkle it a little bit. Yeah. But them black olives though, that set it off. If I can get full olives on there, no pit of course, but the full olives, I'm good money. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you to Red, who says, you just became a supporter. Thank you for that. Red867. Thank you to Apple, who says, please pray for Nigerian Christians persecuted for God. Also says, where are the protests for Nigerian Christians? Nowhere, because that's not really a thing that's being pushed by the media. Shout out to Apple, who says, got expelled for plagiarism, ? Sue, look at Harvard. Also, Taraji's cribs make Patrice Colors jealous. There you go. Patch Duress says, do I have a soundboard, ABL? Because that Biden supporter calls for beta, courtesy of Justice Lee Peterson. I do have a soundboard. I could put that on there. Shout out to Bob K MIT, who says, you would not remember this, but I told you about the calendar a month ago. Well, hey, there you go. Shout out to F Ranger Xbox, who says, Democrats importing grape culture. Nikki Wynn says, hey, ABL, born and raised Richmond, Virginia, and growing up, we would come down the beach in the summer and stay at the Red Roof Inn on Newtown Road. Yeah, I know about Newtown Road. Yep. Shout out Newtown. Kentsville. What else? What's right there? Virginia Beach Boulevard, all of that. This is back in 1984 when I was 10 and you were a tot. Yeah, I was a whole newborn. Yeah, so shout out 804. Shout out Henrico, Mechanicsville, all that good stuff out there. Shout out Rebel Out of Reason, who says, totally missed opportunity by Pizza Hut to avoid this issue altogether by just throwing the pizza party every time they brought it up. There you go. Shout out to Papa Naya Shelley, who says, always tip cash whenever possible. I always do that. Whenever I can, I tip cash. Like, the only reason why I would have cash on me is to tip. And, you know, I like to the point where I would just say, yo, I would leave on the check $0 for the tip and give them cash. Like, yo, don't pay no taxes. Steal it. I'm playing federal government. If you're watching Joe Biden, my FBI, hey, to my FBI agent, thank you for watching and supporting. I really appreciate you. But these are all jokes. Okay, look, listen. And I really don't have any guns. It was really lost in the boating accident. And I joked about stealing from you guys. I would never steal. I always pay my taxes, right? I always pay. So it's a joke. Lighten up. Don't get triggered and put it in my file, FBI agent. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype number in the description box to call. So you can come and be in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen and speak about whatever you got going on in your mind. All right. So, yeah, shout out to the federales watching the show. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, cash, unfortunately, they're trying to phase it out. That's pretty bad. But, hey, what are you going to do? All right. What are you going to do? Give me a second here. All right, let's go. 470, you don't learn who I'm speaking to.
Yeah, shout out to the federales. Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
Hey, Anthony, it's Greg for Wild and Wacky Atlanta, where anything can happen at any time. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. About yourself?
Pretty good. That story about the Pizza Hut drivers getting laid off, 1,200 of them, that really sucks. But, yeah, they can thank Gavin Newsom for that one. They should all write him thank you notes for it, you know,
absolutely,
for helping them out. Because he got them all fired.
You sure did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's better to make $15.50 an hour plus tips and keep your job rather than making $20 an hour. Now you're fired and you have nothing.
Exactly.
Actually, when you think about it, working for $15.50 an hour plus tips, you know, it's going to average out to $18, $19, maybe $20 an hour, depending on the, you know, the season and everything. If it's around the holidays or whatever, you know, 4th of July, people might tip more. So, yeah, especially if they tip in cash. Like you said, I mean, there's no record of that, so that's good. But, yeah, we had a little kerfuffle, as you like to say, here in Atlanta. We had 2 water mains break, one in my neighborhood and one up the street on Peachtree Road. I can't say exactly where I live. I don't want any assassination attempts on my life. But, yeah, man, some of these water pipes here are like 115, 120 years old.
Yeah, I saw one of them. There was a video on the internet. It was like a river down the street. It was crazy. I thought it was like a rain event, but that was a water main break.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you don't know how old these pipes are, you know, until they burst.
Right.
And but anyway, as far as that lady is concerned that shot that intruder, that wasn't supposed to have a gun, what's she supposed to do? Just allow her family to get killed?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose.
That makes no sense. I mean, you know, I applaud her. You know, she's not a killer. She was defending herself, and she felt bad about shooting a 14-year-old kid, but he should have known better. I mean, most don't believe me when I say this, but this is true. In 1982, and I'm old enough to remember this, I'm 54, but in Kennesaw, in 1982, they passed a law that you have to have a gun. Now, they don't go to your house and, you know, inspect it to make sure you have a gun, but it's on paper, you know, that's the law. And they have a very high percentage of gun ownership. And guess what? There's very low crime in Kennesaw, Georgia, as a result of that. Because people know that if you break into a house out there, you know, you have at least a 95% chance of getting shot, maybe even higher than that. So it's just not worth the trouble.
Right. Exactly.
So there you have it. Anyway, that's all I have to say for tonight. Just want to wish you a happy new year and best wishes to you in 2024. Still Ultra MAGA, Trump 2024.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Right.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to my man for the call. And shout out to you guys for being here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go. 215 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Okay, I got you off speaker. Cool, so you can hear me. All right, so ABL, today I was at work, and basically there was this guy. He was standing outside the store for at least a few hours, right? So I was like, okay. I didn't know if he was looking for a job or homeless bum. So he comes to me, come to find out he doesn't speak English at all or doesn't understand it. So I was like, okay. So he's trying to get a job. He's trying to get a job where I work. Like, he's trying to look for work. So I wound up using a translator. He said something about papers. I was like, do you have like working papers? I'm like, all you need is a state ID. So once he said working papers, I was like, okay, immigrant. He's right, immigrant. I said, do you at least have an ID with your name on it? Like something that shows where you live at with your name on it. And he basically acted like, mind you, I was using Google Translator to translate to his language. It's like he didn't know what I was talking about at all. And I was like, okay, so he's probably over here illegally. Which, if he's over here illegally, that's not really, I don't really care too much about that. Not too much. But it's just the point of, so they come over here, you're trying to work, and you have no way to make money while you're over here, but you see this is the country of opportunity.
Right? Yeah, man. It just kind of come over here, and hopefully it just happens just randomly. Sometimes they have orders, and sometimes they don't, and they think it might just happen. Okay, I'm over in America. I'll make money some kind of way.
Yeah. They probably don't see. They're probably not getting the full story. One thing about most of these sanctuary cities or what they do in Chicago is like they tell these people, come over here, come here, we will take care of you, and then they don't take care of them.
Right.
Most of them are out on the street homeless, and I'm just thinking to myself, and then they want to fight with the government. I mean, not the government. The governor like Florida and Texas, they want to get mad at them for sending them up here. That you just told them to come up here. Like, it's stupid. Then you're gonna try to sue the bus company like the moron mayor in Chicago. So he wants to try to sue the bus company, and then he tried to send some back down to Texas on the bus.
I'm not sure.
So I heard he tried to send some back down to Texas on the bus, and basically they sent him right back. They sent him right back up, and then it's like he tried to send them out to the suburban areas, and I think it was a Republican mayor out in the suburban areas. One of the suburban areas sent them right back to Chicago. So it's like, I mean, basically at this point they don't have the resource. They're using up all the resources. They don't have the resources to take care of them. No place to keep these people, and it's basically I'm like, well, hey, you got yourself into that. You wanted to invite all the people up there. Now you got to take care of them. That's basically like the restaurant. You want to order all this food, now you got to pay the bill.
Exactly. Real simple. I mean, you make a decision, now you got to be able to pay the consequences of your action.
Hello. And let me tell you something else. I'm not trying to badmouth black people, but let me tell you, it's real. I get real triggered when I hear black people saying that they are oppressed, like the white man is trying to oppress them. It gets under my skin because it's like, I'm in a majority black community. You know how many black people I see that own houses, drive cars, work pretty good jobs. They're doing a lot better than me. Mind you, the fact of owning houses, but then they want to sit here and cry oppression. I'm like, how are you guys oppressed? But most of y'all own houses.
It makes no sense. But, you know, they get this idea from a lot of times school, K through 12, college, etc., and they carry it with them throughout their entire life. So even if they become successful, have nice jobs, houses, or whatever, they still have the idea that they're some kind of way oppressed, which it makes no sense in reality.
Exactly, and it's like if you actually watch a documentary like of other people, like the countries they come from real oppression. Like I watched this one Asian woman from North Korea, and she's basically telling us about her entire experience of how she basically went through communism and everything and how they had to sneak out of the country. Like, I had one guy tell me at my job, like, basically America, he said we can be considered a third world country because they won't allow you to leave this country. I was like, that's not true at all. I don't know where you heard that from. I was like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, this country's not going to force nobody to stay here.
Right.
All you need is a passport, you need the money, and then, hey, yeah, you do what you want to do. We're not going to force nobody to stay.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's just like, you leaving is not going to affect, you're just making more, you're just one less person that's not here. That's more room for all the immigrants to come over here. They'll take your spot. They'll gladly take your spot. So, and but I don't want to take up more of your time, but that's really all I had to say. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, shout out to the callers. Keep on rocking and rolling here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. All right, Scrap caller, who am I speaking to? Can you hear me, boss?
Oh, hey, ABL, it's Danny. How's it going, mate?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, great. Thanks for taking my call. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good one.
Thank you, man. Same to you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so the Texas woman, who deleted the home invader, so she's facing eviction. She's facing eviction, right?
That's right.
I mean, what did the landlord expect her to do? Cook him dinner? I mean,
I mean, it's so silly. It's like, what do you do in a situation? You got a home invader, and she had been targeted before. So the thing about it is, okay, if she's been targeted before, you got police reports, everything else, then maybe if the landlord does not want her to have a gun, some kind of security should be in place, something. But obviously, obviously there was no security in place. It's just her to defend herself and her children, 4 kids under the age of, she has 4 girls between the ages of 9 and 2. So it's like, what do you do?
See, this is the thing, and it's like sometimes, you must, like, being in those positions, you must sort of feel like the whole world's against you and just wants you to die and your family to die, because, as you said, in situations like that, I mean, what are you meant to do? Just let the 14-year-old or whoever it is just come in and rob you and potentially kill you and your family? Is that we'll just have our hands up all the time? I guess that's what we do.
And that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's just again, I know it's sad because someone lost their life, and it's again the whole age thing. 14 years old. It's obviously like it's not nice, but these teenagers, though, man, I mean, they've probably been doing this since they were a kid, right? I mean, these people are dangerous, and 14, 15-year-old. I know it sounds young, but I mean, these people have probably already killed people, right? I mean, you just never know.
Yeah, like in Virginia, you could be tried as an adult at age 14. That's right.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because. Yeah, I'll be quick. So I spoke to my neighbor not too long ago, and we kind of walk our dogs together now. And he obviously he's flat sharing with an American woman, and he told me about a month ago she went down to a coffee shop just not too far from us, but about 15 minutes away. But it's quite rough down this area. But she didn't really know, and so she's outside the coffee shop on her laptop. And there's this thing that is quite popular in London is young teenage boys on like these electric scooters or sort of like a motorbike, and there's normally 2 of them. They got like those ski masks on, with a helmet on, and they just go around looking for victims. People with their phones hanging out, or in this case, she was outside a coffee shop with her laptop, obviously on her laptop, and 2 guys come past, run up to her, grabbed her laptop, and went. And it's situations like that really bore my blood, because there's so many sitting ducks out here in this country where there's nothing you can do. There are people just going around robbing people pretty much every day. And that's why I believe in situations like women should be able to defend themselves. And I know some people might say, well, it's a bit much, in a situation like that to pull your gun out and shoot them, but don't go around robbing people then. I mean, I think that's fair, right?
It's fair. Just keep your hands to yourself. Don't rob people. Don't commit crime. And you have a good chance of not getting deleted by somebody who is defending themselves against you.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it just, That's why, again, I just I love America so much, because, well, some states, you know, because they seem to sort of have, again, common sense and actually want to protect themselves and the people they love and stuff. And again, that's just how it should be, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, and just an idea as well. I think maybe it'd be a good idea if Chris Christie was the next president, because I think the first thing he'd do is he'd probably make fast food affordable again. I mean, because that's kind of a joke now, right? I mean, fast food is just not affordable anymore, is it?
Yeah, no, it's expensive. Like, and not only is it expensive, it's not a lot of it. I've seen some of these shrinkflation videos. They got these really small portion sizes for more money. So it's like, what's really going on here?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you're going to shrink the quantity of the food, then shrink the prices. You know what I mean? I mean, but people still buy it, though, don't they? People still buy it
all day long. Weird. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've got time for. Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't want to take too much time, ABL. Thanks again. Shout out to chat. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the holidays, mate. Take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care, mates. Yeah, bye.
All right. Yeah, man. If you're going to shrink the portion sizes, which really is not a bad thing, shrinking the portion sizes, because we could use some portion control in this country, because we got some heavyweights out there. You got some heavy hitters. Shrink the portion sizes, but also shrink the price. How about that? All right. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Charles calling out of New York. I mean, out of New Orleans. I'm sorry. I was going to talk about the whole Pizza Hut thing.
Alrighty.
I used to manage a Domino's down here in New Orleans. And so it seems like what a lot of people is doing is they're confusing the Fair Labor Standards Act tips credit. See, a lot of companies don't view delivery drivers as a tips creditable position. We never did. So the thing was, we would always just pay the drivers the full minimum wage. And so it's like, what happens is that, especially in California, because California is running out of money. I'm originally from Oakland. I think he raised that minimum wage because on your state income taxes, you got certain deductions. But on a business payroll tax, there are no deductions. So if he can convince these businesses to actually pay the $20 minimum wage, the state gets 100% of the taxes, and there's no deductions from that. And that's advantageous to California. But the thing about it is that none of the businesses can afford that. It doesn't make any sense. And all he's going to do is just either A, run these businesses out of business, trying to pay the $20 minimum wage, or he's going to sit here and just get a bunch of people fired. And the first fire incident obviously came from Pizza Hut. You know.
I see.
And so that's one of the things there. But the only other thing I wanted to comment on that whole immigration bit is that because outside my office, I'm in a mixed zoning area. So on the left side of the street, we got offices. On the right side of the street, we got apartment complexes. And we've had a lot of immigrants move into the apartment complexes across the street. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is it causes a culture change in the area when you start having a lot of people from other areas move in, especially when they don't understand the level of that you're trying to keep in the area. Like, for an example, I was walking up to the corner store to buy a Coke today, and I noticed that the apartment across the street, it now has chickens in it.
Wow.
So we now have a farm across the street, I guess. But yeah, they got roosters, they got hens. So they got that across the street now. And, you know, you're starting to have vehicles that no longer work because, you know, people buy transportation just to get around any way that they can. And then when it breaks down, they're stuck with it instead of testing a car, buying something reliable. Or, you know, if you really don't know nothing about cars and you just buy anything, it works for a couple of weeks, it breaks down, you stuck with it, and you just run out and buy another car. And that's what seems to be happening. Now we're starting to get cars across the street piled up that don't work. And it's like, traditionally in our area, our culture for our neighborhood was not to have that junk lying around.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of the other things. And, you got these crazy mayors up in Chicago, up in New York City. They were just hoping that the federal government come to their rescue and pay for all of these immigrants coming across the border. And my other thing is, I also believe that they were sitting there thinking that if they keep going on TV and keep repeating, we're not getting help, we're not getting help, we're not getting help, that the general public was going to motivate and get behind them. Call your senator, get Chicago help, get New York help. I think that they was hoping that the public was going to get behind them, and what they're realizing is the public don't really want those people there, because it's like, we've been here all this time and you haven't helped us, but yet these new people come to town and you're giving them everything. The poor people in Chicago, I was watching one of the videos you showed where they had that high school in their neighborhood that had been closed that they were trying to get reopened. And they kept telling them, we don't have money for it, we don't have money for it, we don't have money for it. Now that the illegals come to town, suddenly Chicago finds $50 million. They got $50 million extra bucks.
Interesting.
And so now, he thought that the black people up there were going to be so welcoming, help the black and brown people. But they done flipped the script. Now they're ready to vote him out of office. And I guarantee you, if Illinois had laws where you can repeal elected officials, he'd been long gone. They've been got rid of Brandon Johnson so quick. Yep. But that's all I wanted to say. Make sure you have a blessed and happy New Year.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah. That was no lies told. All facts right there. 504 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right. What's going on?
All right. So I have some things to say before I say some of the stuff I found out. Last night, when I was of putting up the cats with their heater in their back, it's this big warehouse, and it looks kind of like a castle inside, like a scary castle. And there was this possum that came in, and this other possum that came down the stairs, and they kept on walking up and down the stairs and on the wall. It was really funny.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, all right. I remember last night I was putting together a video about the watch, the Apple Watch, and I did see earlier that what you said, that they eventually appealed it and they're able to have the watch back up. And it was this company called Masumu or something like that that had that same patent for that design in the watch, what you mentioned. And this is where the issue is. And Apple thought it would really hurt their company if they didn't have the product out. And then it was like the 26th and the 25th around Christmas is when Biden chose not to do anything, let it go, and it looks like they're able to get it turned over. And yeah, that definitely that was a tedious situation for them.
Yeah, that was pretty strange. Like the thing, the deadline was Christmas Day, and then today they got a stay on the ruling to ban it, so they can sell it. So it was just really, it was like it just went past Christmas and said, okay, now you can do it, and that probably cost them a lot of money. Because like if they were able to get it, if they were able to get it before Christmas, then it would have been a big windfall. That might have been a personal thing against Apple because maybe they didn't do something right. I feel like that was a message sent.
Absolutely, ABL. That's what I was thinking, because it's like I was thinking that in the video I was saying how on Christmas it's like that's when you would have the most sales and stuff, and it looks like they want to get at them and it would hurt their company. Now Amazon and the other stores were selling out their Apple Watches, but they couldn't restock it from and import them from China into here. That's where they make them. So yeah, I think that's definitely true. And back during the Obama administration, he did something similar to Apple because of the iPads and the iPods. So it's kind of interesting that it happened again with Biden.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And also something that happened that I thought was really science fiction that I put out today about Elon Musk's Tesla. There is a robot that attacked one of the engineers and dug his claws. The robot dug its claws into the person, and the person had a giant injuries on his arm from it.
Wow, that was a thing that shouldn't have happened. Like, it wasn't scripted. It was just a rogue event.
Yeah. So it malfunctioned, and because they had these robots, you could look it up on Google, and chat can look it up on Google. That they have these robots. They're like black faces, and they just walk around and they do things. And it malfunctioned, and it turned on one of the engineers in the back, and its hand it started clawing it and attacking the person. So it happened as a malfunction, and that's very scary. It's like the Terminator or something.
That's crazy. I'm seeing a headline right here. It says a Tesla factory robot reportedly attacked a worker and left them bleeding. That's like, wow, really? Why have I not seen that in the news?
I know. As I was thinking that it would definitely hurt their stock, and I didn't see any news about it. And I think this is absolutely crazy that this was not being mass reported. My mom told me about it when she was coming home, and I looked it up and I put out a video about it. And I thought that's the thing I put out first over the Apple Watch thing. So basically, yeah, I think that it shows the danger of the robots and the AI that could happen, because, they could go turn on everybody and, kill people off. So I definitely think that needs to be investigated, and I'd like to see, more information come out about that.
Absolutely.
Right. And also about the immigration. Yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy what's going on. All these people that are coming through, and they're causing more problems to different areas. And it's like there's a point, ABL, where people, they can't hide it anymore. The officials, similar to like the alien stuff like to talk about and things with space, there's a point where it's too obvious they can't hide it. So they go and tell people about what's going on, but they, because they couldn't hide it anymore. So I think that's the reason about it. And Courts, I think her name is, AOC. Yeah, she's just really, I think, is evil and anti-American in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And also, have you heard about Gavin Newsom, how he was for Trump being on the ballot?
I saw that. I said that he didn't like the effort in California to keep Trump off the ballot. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's interesting too. He's definitely, I wonder what the motive for that is. All right, ABL, that's all I have to say. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that's crazy with the whole the robot attacking. That's crazy. 859, you don't know who am I speaking to?
Oh, 859, what's up, bud? How's it going?
I saw that. It's all good.
Sorry,
Get me on in the
I
background.
want to put that on pause for a second. Hey, I've been watching your show. You talk a lot about like vehicles and trucks. What is the best kind of truck? I'm trying to find a vehicle. What's the best kind of truck to start with a beginner? I'm just kind of curious.
Okay, you want full size, mid size? What we doing?
Well, I'm just something that I can like move stuff around, haul stuff, like do DoorDash, not DoorDash, but Instacart stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like jobs.
Okay, I mean,
like a van or a truck.
You said what now?
A van or a truck, one of those two.
I mean, I like the full size trucks. I had a Tundra. The Tundra was good. The F-150 is a classic. Can't go wrong with that. A Toyota Tundra or a Ford F-150. Now, if you test drive it and it's too big for you, you can go down to a Tacoma. Now it depends on how what you really hauling around. I see some guys in the Ford Maverick, but it might be a little bit too small. I'll put it to you this way: a Ford Maverick is like a car, but a truck. It's like the size of a car, but it's a truck. You see what I'm saying? That's like a small truck, like a micro truck. A good middle ground huh?
I think something like that. I think something like that would be great because I'm just mostly groceries or furniture or whatever,
Okay, yeah, but I will always suggest that you go test drive for sure. But a good middle ground would be a Tacoma. Like for normies, a Tacoma would probably be fine. That's a good middle ground. I say just go test drive it and see if you like it.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, thank you very much for the tip, man. I appreciate it. Also, I'm trying to go for my test again for written test of the driving test. Any tips
Your test for what now?
for driving test? Any tips?
Like CDL or just like regular license? What are we doing?
CDL. I had to retake it. I've been a bad boy when I was younger.
Well, I don't have a CDL myself, so I really don't know. I would just say study and do what you do. Just like any other test, study and be prepared.
Okay, I appreciate it for the advice. Also, the case with the Texas woman shooting that 14-year-old. I mean, it's a tragedy. It happens, and some when you're young, you do stupid things. But that's the thing is, man, you got to defend yourself. You don't know if that person's who could be like 20-something years old trying to kill you or hurt you. And promise me, I've been in situations before that somebody breaks into my house and I didn't sleep for 2 or 3 days after the situation. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy who tried to break in is still alive. It's just he got shot a few times. That's the only thing I got to say. And I almost got in some legal trouble for it, but I was defending myself. And like I said, I didn't sleep for 3 days. I was scared that somebody might break in and hurt me. So you got to do what you got to do.
Right on, man.
Hey, man, I love the show. Talk to you guys later, bro. Lucifer and Libertarian out. See you.
For the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. But a Tacoma, that's a good mid-size type of vehicle. That's like a good starter truck. Like if you're going to go to a Tundra or F-150, that's kind of big. It's a big vehicle. I had to get used to it when I first got it. And I test drove a Tacoma, but I'm just tall. So for me, it was kind of it was small for me in the cabin. I didn't like it. Okay, let's keep on rocking here. 815, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Jacob. How's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Not much. I guess my first advice to that last caller was for taking the test is to maybe wear a helmet and I'm going to say put down the crystal meth pipe, but maybe pick it up, it'll help you study more. Okay, I'm sorry. I had you. I've been watching too much Kill Tony. Anyway, I've been just saying I'm a professional. I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I'm straight. So I'm pretty much 2/3 a trans woman right now. But
there we go.
Anyway, but what I'm going to say is the whole thing about the fast food being expensive is fake news. It really is. Because I'm also Jewish, and I'm not going to do a Jewish joke, but they're cheap. Okay, ha, 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 ha. And so I've figured it out, the system. Now, some of these tweakers out here will be, they won't want to do this because they can track you, but you get the app. You got to get the app in 2024. And with the app, it unlocks a multitude of cheap fast food. And I'll go through just a list of examples really quick. Today, for example, for lunch, it's Whopper Wednesday. You've heard of Taco Tuesday, but have you heard of Whopper Wednesday?
I have not.
That's right. Whoppers are $3. Okay, $3, not bad. $3. Okay, that's not going to break the bank too bad. Then, like for example, Popeyes, just every single one of these places, Popeyes, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Wendy's has I like the spicy chicken sandwich. They got, 2 for $6 every day using the app. I mean, that's not bad. $6 and you get 2 sandwiches. I would eat like the second one half the time. So it's like $3. So I'm just saying you got to be thrifty and use these apps and look up the deals, and maybe your birthday lands on a different month every month, that kind of thing.
So is this just one app, or do you have apps for all these restaurants individually?
Personally, yeah, I have an app for like all these restaurants individually. Like I find all the fast food that's like, within a quick distance of work that I need to get to quickly, and I have all the apps loaded up.
All right, well, there you go. It makes sense.
And
to
the
me.
email list. Some of them like an email list.
Hey, the email list. So okay, there it is. So hey, you got to be efficient out here.
Hey, I'm just trying to help out here.
Right on.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be paying those $6 for McChicken. That's 2 for $3 every day on the McDonald's app. Just saying, 2 for $3 every day.
There we
At
go.
least in my Bumblewoods, Now, if you go to a big city like Chicago down an hour, away, that might be different because, they kind of, everything's like, a special place there.
Right.
But anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks for taking my call and have a good night. And thank you, everybody.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
All right. So you heard it, man. You got to get those apps and get those deals. Got to get those app deals. 541, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Matt from Bend, Oregon.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. You guys are talking about Toyota, so I got to chime in for a second, man. Great rigs. You were making recommendations, and I would say for taller folks, the Tacoma's probably not the truck for you. The Tundra would probably be the one. But then I also made that comment earlier about 326,000 miles on my Tundra, man, and it runs like a top, bro. Runs like a top.
Yeah, they're amazing
highly
vehicles.
Recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what year do you have?
Dude. It's an 06. I bought it from the original owner.
Man, it's running like a charm.
I bought it in June. Yeah, like right when I bought it in June, I think the timing belt had been done like 3 days before that.
Okay.
All the brakes, all the shocks, all the fluids, all the hoses, all the belts. Like, yeah, dude, it's got the big moonroof in it. The back window rolls down.
Yeah.
It's nice, dude.
Definitely.
Like, this dude took really good care of this truck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I highly recommend it, man. When I bought my 2017 Tacoma, I couldn't buy one with a moonroof because I was too tall, and I'm only 6'1". Fast forward a little bit, and I bought a 21 TRD off-road premium with a moonroof. And since it has an adjustable power seat from 2020 and up, a little taller person can fit in there. They just lower the seat down a little bit.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just not as big of a truck, dude. They're nice. I loved it. Kind of miss it, but I traded that 21 for my 06 and put a ton of cash back in the bank. So it was a good investment, and this truck will probably run me a long time. So,
oh yeah, definitely. Great investment.
Yeah. So highly recommend it, man. But and that little Ford Maverick looks like a nice little truck. I don't know. It's kind of a city truck, bro.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of a Ridgeline, even though.
Yeah, exactly, like a Ridgeline. But even to me, it looks smaller than the Ridgeline. Like I saw one, and it was like a bright brute. It looked like a car, really, like a car with a bed in the back. That's kind of what it looked like.
It kind of is.
Yeah,
I would agree totally. I was watching a video of a guy on YouTube talking about his. It was probably a year ago. And he was talking about how he had ordered his so far ahead. He got a great buy on it. And Ford was they were trying to buy it back for just a stupid amount of money. And it's like, dude, and then they're going to turn around and charge more money for it. It just kills me.
Exactly.
So I don't think that's for me. You can find these older Tundras now, and they're great trucks, man. I think I paid 11 for mine in June, and it's got that many miles on it. But like I said, if you didn't know it had that many miles, you'd think it probably had like 150 on it, just being the age that it is. So
right.
Highly recommend, bro.
Absolutely.
Highly recommend. All right, buddy. Well, hey, I appreciate your content, man. I appreciate your time. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Have a good one.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to my man. Yeah, those little Mavericks, little baby trucks. They look so cute. They're like a little car with a bed on the back. Yeah, too small for me. 773, you don't learn. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to hit a couple of points, ABL. Number one, as you said yourself in your video, ABL, when you're 12, 13 years old, 14 years old, there are some kids that age that look like adults. You yourself said you were like 6 foot, right? You were like 6 foot, over 200 pounds at that age yourself, right, ABL?
That's right.
Exactly. So here's the thing. You cannot trust, these offenders. You can't trust them to not break into your home. you can't trust them not to steal your stuff. So how can local government expect you to trust them not to hurt your family? See, now, the kid's family might say, well, he's young. People make mistakes when they're young. You know, he was hanging with the wrong crowd. He was just going to crawl in there and steal a TV or a stereo or some whatever, videotapes or whatever. But you don't know that as the person living in a home. So, you know, you have to defend yourself. And I feel for that woman, ABL, because I've always told this to coppers, especially gung-ho coppers that have, young coppers sometimes have this hero thing in their head. You know, I'm going to get the bad guy, I'm going to shoot him, I'm going to kill him. You know, there's a few people like that. But as you go on through your years as a policeman, you see policemen that are forced to shoot and sometimes kill people. And it weighs heavy on their heart, even when they're completely and totally justified. Because now you as a killer that might have killed, as a gangbanger, you might have killed 3-4 people throughout your years just taking pot shots at people. I, as a policeman, came to do the right thing and the good thing, but I never had to be turned into a killer. Yet some policemen have to in order to defend their lives or other people's lives. And that's what this woman did. She was trying to defend her life and the life of her kids, even if the kid never had an intention to hurt them. I don't know what your intention is. You should have never came through my window in the first place. I'll leave that at that. The thing about the government, you saw with Chick-fil-A and everything else, these leftists just want to get the government involved in all kinds of private businesses. That's what they want to do. They want to completely make the government dictate business, dictate your life. They want big government because they want to have control of your life. That's what they want to do. They want to have control. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about, ABL, is the buses, the migrant buses here in Chicago. I told you last week that they were starting to fine these bus companies. Well, right now, they have finally impounded one of the buses. That's what they're going to do. Now they're impounding the buses. So the city, if you come in with migrants or immigrants or illegals into the city of Chicago, your bus is now fined $750 each person. For each passenger, the bus company is fined $750 per person. Plus, they have $3,000 worth of fines, and that is not including the impound fees. By the way, when I impound your car, if you get arrested for drunk driving and I impound your car, that is a $2,000 minimum charge for the impound because it was drinking and driving.
Right.
If you get your car towed and impounded for, let's say, parking tickets, it's still something like $700. But if you do something illegal, drinking and driving is illegal, the minimum charge for a car was $2,000. So I can imagine how much the fees are for the buses to impound the bus, the fees to tow the bus, the fees to house the bus at the police pound. So this is what he's doing. Then the next thing is there are now 13,700 illegals in the homeless shelters. So that's almost 14,000 beds that the homeless themselves are taking up, you know, which was meant for people that you have been here and are homeless. There used to be 3,000 migrants in the police stations of Chicago, and now that's down to just under 400. It's 354 actually. So 350 are still in the police stations, in the lobbies and everything else. But what they've been doing is they've been giving these people housing if they can. But I mean, He doesn't even have a leg to stand on, and he's doing all this stuff. I mean, it's a ridiculous, ridiculous thing. You invited people to this city. It's a sanctuary city. Now you see your policies don't work, and you don't know what to do. You want to blame it on somebody else. They give all this nonsense about whose fault it is. It's the same thing with the Pizza Hut thing. When you start forcing things down businesses' throats, they can't deal with it. So what happens? They go, you lost your job. So they thought they were helping people, but their policies actually do just the opposite. I'm hoping that we get Trump into office, let alone what they're persecuting Trump. Things are not good in our country, and I hope they get turned around. I don't know if they will. I have faith that they will, and I hope Trump, first of all, is able to, run, and secondly, that he wins. So that's my 2 cents, ABL. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, ABL.
All right, fantastic call, and that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for coming through. I really appreciate y'all. My 3 hours went by so fast. I feel like I just sat down, and now the time for the show has come to an end. I'll be back live again on Saturday, which would be New Year's Eve. I suppose that's the correct thing to say. New Year's Eve is Sunday. I'll be back live again on Saturday, and I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content on YouTube, Facebook, and the Instagram. Check me out on Twitter as well, and go to my website, anthonyblogan.com, to see articles for each video that I produce. Go to my contact page, follow my social media on there. You can email me, you can snail mail me, whatever you want to do on my website. Also, again, come back this Saturday for the live show, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern. And shout out to you guys for being here in the chat, watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do this show without you. All right, I got some more super chats to read off right quick, if I'm not mistaken. Then I wrap it on up, put a nice bow on top. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best. Let me go to where I left off. Thank you to Eric T, who says, I've never commented before, but I've been a long-time subscriber. I just wanted to show my support. Happy holidays. Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your support, for watching, and the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to Nikki Wan 804, who says Chick-fil-A has the best app with the heart emoji. Shout out Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Bina, who says, you just get some. Bina gifted 10 ABL memberships. So shout out to everybody who got those memberships. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to Dude Raw for becoming a member. I thank you guys for your support and for joining. And I think that'll be a wrap. Again, I'll be back live again Saturday, same bat time, same bat place. And I'm here every day talking about what's happening on these interwebs, in the streets, and everywhere else. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.